This isn't the Matrix?
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one. We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought an agent has died. But where they have failed, you will succeed.
Why?
I've seen an agent punch through a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Portions of the following program may be unsuitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Disclaimer! Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit education or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video was made for entertainment purposes and is transformative in nature.
You feel, however, that we're making progress in this country and worldwide?
No. I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. And they haven't even begun to pull the knife out, much less try and heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
You haven't.
Hey, John, what do you want us to take away from this extraordinary series of yours?
Well, I want people who are not Latin to have Latin envy and wish they had been born Latin, and for Latin people to realize, damn, being Latin is a superpower, man. I mean, the things that we've suffered in this country, 500 years, our wealth was stolen from us. We were lynched. We were burned, shot alive. We've been the only American citizens that have ever been deported by the millions. And yet we contribute and we build and we thrive.
To me, if you have been here for 5 years and you do not have a criminal record, you will be able to go on the dignity status for 7 years.
That status is like a probation period.
You will not be deported. You will not lose your assets. You can work anywhere in the country. You will pay taxes.
And there would be an additional tax.
A new levy of 1.5 withholding called the dignity levy will be held from your paycheck. You will not have access to any government program and will have to buy your own health insurance.
And another charge.
You will pay $700 a year for 7 years, and that adds up to around $5,000. Those $5,000 will represent around $45 billion.
This is provided that the undocumented immigrants total 10 million, but there are more.
And that fund will go to pay for border security. The other bucket of money, the 1.5, will go to re-educate or retrain any American who believes that he or she has lost his opportunity, his job opportunity, to an undocumented.
Some of the other legislators who support the bill said they are aware that it is not perfect. They said it's better than doing nothing.
Various groups, feminist, gay rights groups, and those who are defending immigrants have commandeered the black civil rights experience.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that because I think it's one of the most important points of the book. I mean, I think the way liberals have treated blacks like children, and many of their policies have been harmful to blacks. At least they got the beneficiary group right. We do have to, I mean, we shouldn't. There is the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow laws. We don't owe the homeless. We don't owe feminists. We don't owe women who are desirous of having abortions, but that's, or gays who want to get married to one another. That's what civil rights has become for much of the left. They dropped the blacks after 5 minutes.
Immigrant rights are not civil rights?
No, I think civil rights are for blacks. We done to the immigrants. We owe black people something. We have a legacy of slavery. Immigrants haven't even been in this country. Democrats are dropping the blacks and moving on to the Hispanics because they're a larger group of Hispanics now. But could I just say to Jorge, I hate to disagree with you when you're attacking President Obama, but I think the point on immigration is you can have open borders or you can have a welfare state. You cannot have both.
Doing a great job in the heart these days.
You late again, Eddie.
Trying to do. You ain't gonna do it. See, Big Red done pulled my coattail to you a long, long time ago.
That's bullshit, Eddie. You talking crazy.
Crazy like a mother fox. And you, I can see through your jive ass like glass, nigga. Eddie, you got it all wrong, man. Stealing my moves. My style. Nigga, even trying to riff like me. Hey, man, why don't you get your boy out of here and detox him? You on my spot, Flash? Slum-dwelling, scum-sucking, slug-ass motherfucker. You on my spot, Flash? Huh? Well, you ain't gonna get it, cause you ain't got it.
These kind of boys seems innocent, Boogie. Got everybody on the post thinking he's a strong black buck. White boys envy his strength, his speed, power in his swing. Then this colored champion lets those same white boys call him Shine or Sambo.
Whoa, Lord.
And he just smiles.
Dream about the time when I was a little boy.
Can't talk. Can barely read or write his own name. And don't care. He'll tell you they like him. Or that colored folks ain't supposed to have but so much sense.
Yes, he would.
You know the damage one ignorant Negro can do. We were in France in the First War. We'd won decorations. But the white boys had told all them French gals that we had tails. Then they found this ignorant colored soldier. Paid him to tie a tail to his ass and run around half naked making monkey sounds. They put him on a big round table in the Cafe Napoleon. Put a reed in his hand. Crown on his head, blanket on his shoulders, and made him eat bananas in front of all them Frenchies. Oh, the white boys danced that night. Passed out leaflets with that boy's picture on it. Called him Moonshine, king of the monkeys. And when we slit his throat, you know that fool asked us what he had done wrong. My daddy told me we got to turn our backs on his kind, Wilkie. Close our ranks to the chitlins, the collard greens, the cornbread style. We are men, soldiers. And I don't intend for our race to be cheated out of its place of honor and respect in this war because of fools like CJ. You watch everything he does. Everything.
You said Your people have been fighting for 400 years.
Man, your peoples too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Not everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I ain't got to go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what. I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. He's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know.
And since the American white man has used his control over the press to rewrite history or retell history, and since the white man can't dispute this truth, it's not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here, it's truth. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated, it's truth. It's not hate to say that the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in this country, came up with a hypocritical desegregation decision 9 years ago, which they haven't enforced yet. That's not hate, that's truth.
Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. I am your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blow Your Minds, and this is WeUpReport. Want to say it was good to everybody in the house. Happen to go down the aisle. Happen to see something to make you feel some kind of way. Remember, the motto of my show is the truth. Don't need no partner. I want to thank each and every one of you coming in here. Kind of hit that like button for me again, because you know I'm the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. Can't get past 20. Got like 21 likes last one, but still barely over 100. Right? Can you believe that? Every week do a show and then never see 200. You ain't seen a 200 view show in 4-5 years. But they want to tell you that just ain't nobody watching you. Maybe you just suppressing to the fullest. But anyway, we glad to see you stop by here. And either you came through the thumbnail itself, or you might have came from the title of the show. Let's go ahead and show what we're going to get into in Aboriginal now. What's good to you, sir? Glad to see you stop by. Right? So what we're going to talk about today, Mr. Blows Your Mind? Well, you know, by the time I come back, a whole lot of stuff doesn't happen over in a week. So by the time I come back, it's like kind of a recap or some of the things that some of the people did not touch on. So what we're going to talk about today. Let me go ahead and what happened to that? Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Look like we got something in here. Wait a minute. Somebody done. Wait a minute. Hold on. They done got me. Oh, they done got me. Ain't that something? Hold on, y'all. Hold up. Wait a minute. They done went and, yeah, see, they be doing some little sneaky stuff, but that's okay. We're going to get into it, right? So tonight's show going to be about Chicago's conflict of interest. Let me say that one more again. Chicago's conflict of interest, right? So you know when you talk about a conflict of interest, right? Well, that's not good. When you're talking about a conflict of interest, that means that somebody has some underlining, some things that have, let's say, a situation in which the concerns or aims of two different parties are incompatible. a situation in which a person is in a position to derive personal benefits from actions or decisions made in their official capacity, right? Now, I myself, as a black man, indigenous man, aboriginal man to the land that we call here the United States, and I don't normally talk about my own people. But there's sometimes some situation that arises where we have to look at the situation and have to call it for what we see it. And when we talk about conflict of interest here, there's some things that might be happening that when you finally get to the end or underneath the surface, we find out, like they say, everything that glitter ain't gold, and everything gonna color your skin ain't your kin. A whole plethora of other scenarios and situations, things that people talk about. But the situation in Chicago is unique because it's being played out from those who are watching. And the uniqueness about it is, well, you have California being the largest state in the United States. Then you have New York. When you kind of look at California and New York, they kind of almost have that similar feel to it. It's not that Chicago don't, but California has been inundated. Those coming across the border, a lot of those of, let's say, the black persuasion or the indigenous, aboriginal persuasion, indigenous people are being displaced. Same thing that's happened in New York. There's people from New York area now start to migrate or immigrate back into the South. Same thing that's happening kind of like in Chicago. But there may be some things that is taking place in the Chicago situation that some of you may not know about. Some of you might have seen some of the things that some of the people have been talking about. Nobody didn't really lay it all out. But WeUpReport, your host, White I'll just Mr. Blow Your Mind, is going to get into some things. So again, that intro coming in, you heard there was a little intro in the beginning of it, right? That's what, where you heard Neo and Morpheus. Now let me give you a little breakdown on that aspect there, right? When you heard him say, this isn't the Matrix. He said, no. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you're not with us, you're one of them. Right? The Matrix is what we live in this system. Called this world. And so the training program that we go through is these scenarios of survival and how we always battle and fight and trying to get ourselves to be subpar above water so that we're not drowning. And so every situation, every experience, we are a culmination, a sum total of all our life experiences is what develop us and shape us and mold us and make us become who the people we become or are. Then you hear him talks about, Neil said, well, what are they? He says sentient programs. Now, okay, what are they? Now, again, Morpheus is trying to get Neo to understand that he's the one, that he's going to be this individual based on these specifications he has as an individual. He's going to become something. He's going to metamorph into something. So the distinction is who is they and we are who we are. And these sentinel programs that you heard Morpheus talk about says that they can move in and out of any software that's hardwired to that system. Let me say that one more again. They can move in and out of any software that hardware to their system. Well, what's the software? The program that we get when we coming through this system, starting from schools through to the encounters and police. Everything is a combination of all those things, right? That's the software that you end up getting from the experience from it, correct? That's the experience we get from it. And the hardware of that system is that sometimes we be having our peoples who get immersed, educated in this system, and their whole objective is to figure out how to maneuver in this thing so that they benefit. I heard a conversation a day or so when somebody was saying that it's about money and stacking your money, and that in itself is the objective. Then you have to ask yourself, if money is the objective of things that you do, and no matter how much I give you, what you won't do for $1, is there any boundaries you won't go? Is there no loyalty in the money? Some people say, some say it ain't got nothing to do with none of that. But what I'm saying is, people who are immersed with this software that this system, let's say, con you in, immerse you in, you take on full-hearted with this, you armor yourself in it, you become what you think is necessary for you of your survival, your family, and so forth. But when it comes to contradicting that, again, when you don't have no loyalty, it's all about independence, all about yourself, that means you can be compromised. Sometimes there's people who are naive to the situation, and there's some people who are willing participant to go against their own. So what we're going to talk about is some of the things that's happened in Chicago. Is it some undermining going on that people don't really adhere to or understand yet, right? So also that you hear Morpheus in that conversation talks about that he says that means anyone who haven't been unplugged is a potential agent. What is the unplugging? Some of us grow up around people who, again, as a child growing up with their parents, depending on what kind of mindset and understanding your parents go, they're the ones that's going to inculcate their information to you. You're going to be developed under that, and you could be turned the wrong way. You could have life looking at it the wrong damn way. And your whole objective about life is based on that until you get to a certain age and go through enough experiences that you realize, you say, wait, a lot of stuff that I got taught was wrong. And then some of us can be so far gone that even wrong looks right. And then it's a dog eat dog, meaning whatever it takes for me to float, for me to not be poor, for me to be, you understand, to be in the inside, to be with stature and prominence and all that stuff. Many of you will sell and do whatever it takes, regardless to the foregone conclusion of what is the trajectory of a nation of people supposed to be going in the direction. Some of you don't even care about that. But this is kind of a conversation that's being had here, right? And so, unplugging. That's that unplugging. Again, those who become what they say woke. Woke is really becoming unplugged from that matrix of that, again, what they talk about, the software programming makes you stay in, you know, like how when you're driving in your car and you got the 2 lanes, you have the lines. And when they teach you in the rules of, let's say rules of the road book, have those lines, solid line, dotted line, a curve, all those have their meanings to it. So as you are programmed about rules of the road, the way that the road is set up, you move accordingly. When you immersed in the system, when you're immersed in the programming, when you become unplugged, not saying that you break the law, but maybe that sign is wrong. Maybe that sign is telling you turn left, and turning left goes off the mountain or over the cliff. But because you so programmed, you go with it because it shows to go there. And many of our people do that. It happens all the time. But it's not a conversation that we like to talk about because, again, some people look at ice is coated green, the grass is greener, the house is bigger, the car is nicer, but I don't know what you do to get it. I don't know what you do to get it. You just have it. So he says, inside the matrix. They are everyone and they are no one. What does that mean? They are everyone and they are no one. You can't even tell by looking at people. There's people who are prominent, CEO, presidents, whatever you think the highest achievement of something that can be attained, and still be lacking or being unplugged. Yeah, I see somebody, you be like, but then they just kind of still, like they follow this hook, line, and sinker. So when they say from those who, let's say, they are everyone, that means it could be anybody from somebody as high up as, say, presidents, generals, to as low as Ray Ray and Nook Nook on the corner. See, in that program, you can't tell by looking at somebody how much there is in this shit. You can't tell. So the programming works various ways in people. And so they say we are survived by hiding from them and running from them, but they are the gatekeepers. We got some gatekeepers look just like you when you look in that mirror. We got some gatekeepers. And they're guarding the doors and they're holding all the keys. And what did Morpheus say? Sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them. When we looking at this thing that is manifesting itself throughout as it's slowly spreading across this place, of every place that where we reside, and those of we is like myself, those at the low end. See, some of y'all are high end. So when you see when I throw stuff up in here, when I tell you stuff, when I show stuff like this, there's a reason I'm on the low end. You know, nobody of some kind of stature you can't do this. You're not free of mind to do this. You got to be immersed. So when you see somebody like me, when I do this, there's a reason for that. If I don't get nothing, boy, that's a long ass week for me. That's a long week. Because I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna tell you some stuff. Again, everybody has their own reason for what they do. But when I do that, there's a reason for that. And when I don't get nothing, it's not me sitting here begging. No, I'm just telling you, you can't get this. Ain't nobody in here. You see everybody in here protecting their damn channels? Who could be in here 11, 12 years? Can't get 100 views and still keep coming on every week. Numbers don't change, the like don't change, so I know it's programmed. Keep me right there and there and don't go no further than that. You get what I'm saying? But everybody else can get numbers, but what are they talking about? You're talking about Kiki Palmer, all this other nonsense. But what we do see as a watch on the wall, I see something spreading, going out throughout, and it's coming apparent that yes, we have people of, let's say, melanin. Some say YT people, right? You got them, but then you got those that look like you and I. And their stuff is starting to now come to fruition. Those things, them undermining things that they've been doing, it's starting to come to fruition. It's becoming obvious. It's going to come real obvious of the things that these backdoor deals, under table moves, and as time keeps going forward, and the position our people will be put in is going to be done because of those deals that a lot of them was making in them back room. That's what this is, right? So he tells Neo, he said, I don't want to lie to you. He said that every single man and woman who stood their ground, every one of them that fought the agent has died. Think about that. Everyone. Every single man, every single woman who has stood their ground and fought an agent has died. He said, but where you, see, that's a seed for somebody. But for you, but where they feel you gonna succeed. Where those prior to those who will fall of the sacrifice for many, those who are left, you ain't gonna fail. You're gonna be the one that succeeds. You're the one that's gonna take us to the next level. That's why you hear some of the conversation now talking about they need to stop this TikTok. They want to stop this here. Because as much as my little 100 here, sometimes I say some things here, and sometimes I'll be watching, because I watch a lot of the brothers and sisters in the YouTube and things like that, and I'll be seeing some of my stuff. I'll be like, hey, God, somebody took it somewhere. See, some people have much bigger platforms, but it's not the quantity of numbers, it's the quality of the conversation or the program or whatever it is that you present or bringing. The information, the news, whatever it might be, it's the quality of it. But a lot of these mugs in here, you know, we playing. We thinking that you know, stuff ain't happening. Right? So he goes on, and I'm gonna finish this up. As I'm telling you, right? He said, I've seen agents punch through concrete walls. Men have emptied entire clips and hit nothing but air. And yet he said they strengthen their speed. The way that in this matrix is based upon that rule. But he says, but when you're ready. So no, Neo says, are you trying to tell me that I'm going to be able to dodge bullets? No. When you're ready, you won't have to. When you're ready, you won't have to. Right? So when okay, hold on. Wait. Get a little bit. What was that? Nasty. What was that? Nasty. What? Nasty. 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 So let's move forward now. Let's get in there. That's a message. It may get where it need to be, it need to hit where it need to be, it need to be planted where it need to be planted. Right? Maybe. Man said, I don't know this shit. You talking some crazy shit to me. It could be, right? Could be, right? So let's go ahead and get into this, right? So let's again. What we're saying is we got people who are in positions, who are gatekeepers, who are helping things to manifest itself. And what I want to show you is some of the stuff that happened over there in the Chicago part that, you know, maybe somebody caught, maybe they didn't catch it, right? So let's start off with how they said it was the chaos in Chicago, right? Because remember, whole thing was predicated on the fact that they was about to deal with putting a referendum together to get that sanctuary city voted on by the residents, right? Check this out, I'll be right back.
City Council chaos, a scene today that reminds many of the council wars of the 1980s.
Little different issue, though, this time, whether Chicago should remain a sanctuary city as the migrant issue continues to put pressure on city resources. NBC5's Natalie Martinez leads off our report tonight.
And Yancey. Just getting enough aldermen to City Hall was chaotic Thursday. 26 are needed for a quorum, several alleging that the mayor's floor leader, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa, physically blocked an alderwoman from chambers. A quorum was finally assembled with the minimum 26 when she finally got in.
I literally had to put my body directly against him and push him back so that she can break herself free and get into the chamber.
I heard from a couple of other aldermen that he had threatened them as well. So we were just seeing a picture unfold here that was
really unbecoming for an alderman. And what it's leading to is I have already drafted a letter of censure.
Alderman Ray Lopez and Anthony Beal called Thursday's special city council meeting to discuss letting Chicagoans have a non-binding vote next spring on whether or not Chicago should remain a sanctuary city.
Not to eliminate Chicago as a sanctuary city, but what it is to find some kind of compromise and threshold to stop the bleeding.
This was a show. This was despicable. This was an abuse of power.
He hasn't done his homework. Neither has Alderman Anthony Beal. State law is clear. We are a sanctuary state, and that requires that municipalities also have to have policies that prohibit local police from working with ICE. Also, our sanctuary city policy, which is a public safety policy, has nothing to do whatsoever with the current humanitarian crisis that we're experiencing.
All this as Mayor Brandon Johnson got to work in D.C., meeting with aides to President Joe Biden and mayors of other big cities, asking for a $5 billion package to help with costs associated with the migrant crisis.
This is a very divisive issue.
Professor Robert Brule at UIC's Department of Political Science.
This is affecting people where they live and where city services are already strained.
Ultimately, no vote on Thursday, and lights went out to shut down the meeting. City Council is expected to meet again next Tuesday, and that's when this vote is expected to come back up as well. At City Hall, Natalie Martinez, NBC5 News.
Our thanks to Natalie.
Over here, as usual, but we're gonna get it going, right? So again, the city council meeting on sanctuary city referendum says spiral into chaos, right? So to use the word chaos, right? You know, again, when you get to convening and talking about some things that's dealing with the agenda where you're saying black folks got a problem with something, it's never copacetic, it's never smooth sailing, it's always loud, chaos, out of control, right? Okay, now. Everybody kind of got the optics of that. A lot of people have touched on it somewhat and so forth, and they said, okay, this is what happened. Okay, that's kind of so glad that's Chicago, not my homeland, right? All right. So you may look at it that way. Right? We got some. Hold on, wait. What's going on here? I know we got. Yeah, put that on them because we don't want nobody. We don't want. You ain't got to sit there and look at that. Put that back on the screen for me, there, sir. Yeah, put that one back up. No, put the other one. That's one. All right. So again, remember they said they was putting the question to the voters. It was what they said. That was the whole ordeal was set up for that. Want to stop the bleeding. That the busing, being a sanctuary city, has put burden. And the things that they were trying to do at one time was go into the black community. Now, if you're ever watching over here, I done gave you bits and pieces over time as to when the 52 plus schools closed. We done touched quite a few things dealing with Chicago in itself. And so I gave you the history as to when they're dealing with how the sanctuary city came about, as to Harold Washington in '85, what he put up there, what Rahm Emanuel did in 2016, and how the aldermen voted for that, and it became an ordinance which gave the police to adhere to what the city was producing. But then something else happened a year after that, which we're gonna get into, because there's a reason why they didn't get this off the ground. And there's a lot of people in here who don't understand that part. You ain't telling people what happened, because something happened. Remember, just like they laying it out, that they went in there, they was trying to get it done. Something was taking place. There was some things that was taking place that was diverting it, right? And I'm gonna show you why I'm telling you as again, skin of our kin, and there's maybe sometimes people playing on the other side that look like they with us but may not be with us, right? So I'm gonna show you how this gonna work. So Let me show you how they said there was a blocking. The day of when they was going to get this together to convene, there was somebody running the interference. Now, I don't know where you are in particular. You may be in Chicago, may be in other places. But again, what we do over here, WeUpReport, we give you the report. We go in, we give you the nuts and bolts of that, so that way that you have a little bit more than what other people just do to just give you some talk and maybe give it this, which I give you a little bit. I do the research, right? So you can take what I'm telling you in a conversation. You can tell somebody you be pretty thorough as to what you're saying, right? That's not no pat on my back. I'm just saying that's what I do over here, right? I don't give you everything. I give you enough that you know what you're talking about, right? So let me show you something here, right? So let me show you how that went down, what they showed as into the news. Watch this. We'll be right back.
Tense moments sparking bullying accusations against a Chicago alderman.
The exchange has Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa stepping down from key leadership posts on city council. Here in video you'll see only on 2, the 35th Ward alderman wearing a gray shirt and khaki pants seemingly grabs onto a colleague, then uses his body to block her from entering council chambers for a vote. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza was there as our cameras were rolling, and she has more now. Sabrina?
Joe, we were there as this began and heard shouting come from just behind council chambers. We realized at that moment that Alderwoman Emma Mitz was being blocked from entering by now former floor leader, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa.
Alderwoman Emma Mitz was trying to get into council chambers.
Let go of Emma. Do not hold her.
To vote on whether or not a referendum on the city's sanctuary city status would be on the ballot next March. Standing in her way, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa. He shakes his head as she eventually makes her way inside.
She was at a loss for words. She was like, I don't remember feeling like this since I was in the South as a child.
Alderwoman Mitz dialed in virtually to today's meeting. Alderman Gilbert Villegas previously held the same position as Ramirez Rosa, floor leader.
Your job is to try to whip votes to push the agenda, understanding that some folks are not going to always agree with you.
Standing in the doorway shouting Thursday, Alderman Ray Lopez. He eventually escorted Mitz to her seat.
I physically had to put my body into his, leaning into him so that he could no longer move, to keep blocking her so that she could make her way into the chamber to make for the 26th vote.
Alderwoman Nicole Lee is one of multiple alder people who filed a report with the Inspector General to look into this behavior.
I was unfortunately on the receiving end of a verbal threat to zoning in my ward should I not do what he was asking, which was to leave the room.
He's threatening me that he's not going to do anything in my ward or have development because I don't agree with the policies or for me doing my job here.
Threats from Ramirez Rosa, who was the chair on the city's zoning committee as well.
It was, if we're gonna work together for stuff in your ward, then you need to take a walk.
The mayor issued a statement about this, saying that he spoke to Ramirez Rosa and they both agreed that he should resign from his special assignments. Alderman Ramirez Rosa issued a statement too, apologizing for his behavior. He has not spoken out publicly, while many of his colleagues are asking him to do so, possibly at tomorrow's council meeting. We expect to hear from Alderwoman Mitz tomorrow as well. In the newsroom, Sabrina Franza, CBS 2.
I think we got right. So you got to see that, right? So what you've seen is you've seen a older person kind of prohibiting, it was an elder sister there, Emma Mitz, from trying to attend the meeting of the day that they needed a certain amount. Okay, there's 50 wards in Chicago, 50 aldermen representing each ward. And in order to have quorum, according to the rules and regulations, you have to have at least 26. So they were trying to convene to have a quorum based on, again, they were trying to do the vote. Somehow, as you think about it, I just said there's 50, but only 26 ended up showing. Actually, they didn't even have 26 because that was the whole thing, was to try not to get to 26. So as you've seen, he was out there trying to talk to her and tell her that it wouldn't be, don't do this. You heard the Asian lady, you seen there's another white cat that was kind of maybe Italian descent, and they said that he came to them and told them some things, and we're going to talk about that as I go down later, that he told them if they went in there and voted that, you understand? So you have to say, well, what's his vested interest in that, right? See, the thing is we as indigenous, Tacitus, Niji Moors, some make Moors, right? Some still say Black Americans, so forth. All the umbrella tells those of us we cut from the cloth of being here in the United States for generations upon generations and have nothing that comes out, and everybody trying to make us be the African that's further back in our family, if we have an African, which I don't, but some of you may. But anyway, with that being said, so we have to say, somebody going out that way, what's his vested interest in that? Is he cut from them cloth of them? Is he, you get what I'm saying? Because if it was something that should have been tallied by the aldermen, allowed to go through the process so that they can go ahead and put it as a referendum, and the objective was to go ahead and let the people decide. But there's some things that's being said here. Oh shit, hold on. There's some things that's being said here. There's some stuff being said as into who he's the right-hand man of, and so forth. But I'm going to lay all this out because I'm going to tell you, a lot of people did not do this. They didn't go in depth as they needed to go in depth in this. So why is it that other people from other persuasions, when they're in positions of power, they know how to use their position for the betterment of their people? Let me say that one more again. Why is it that other people from other nationalities and ethnicities, when they're in a position that they can do some good for their people, how come they'll go all out, even put their position in jeopardy where he can lose it all for the betterment of his race? Why do we have such a hard time doing that? Why are we so damn selfish? Why are we individualists? Why is that? Does that have something to do with our ordeal being in this land and the way that it's been? It's a dog eat dog. We're more competitive with each other and less unifiable under certain circumstances. But as this thing keeps manifesting itself, you're going to have to learn how to coagulate together, right? We'll have to learn how to do that. So here is this individual here. As I'm gonna show him, I think I got a picture and stuff for you here. Reason I got a little technical difficulty, that's why I'm you're not seeing as much as you should at this moment. We working in the background. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get it right. So, yeah, why we have such a hard time doing that? Sometimes you have some of our people that be in position where they could do some hiring, and they'll hire everybody else, and then you know what they tell you? I don't want to look like I'm racist. You don't hear them other people saying that. Our people don't say nothing like that. They do what they do. The word is called what? Nepotism? Nepotism, family favor, ain't know what you know, is who you know, right? All the above. When it comes to us, he got every excuse in the damn book, right? So here's somebody, when he's talking about sanctuary cities and renting it and allowing it to go to the people, he did everything he could. He called up aldermen, don't show up. Those who showed up, he still tried to, hey, because he has two other positions, he was willing to even use the power of that, of persuasion, to say, hey, if you do that, you vote against it, I'm going to use my other position. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to use them. I'm going to use them. And that's what you heard the Asian and the Italian dudes say. They said something, whether you call it or not, because over here, WeUpReport, we teach you how to listen. Not so much everything I'm showing, but you got to learn how to listen. Because that's where the details at. Learn how to listen to somebody. You find out a lot if you understand the words of where they're coming from, right? So anyway, So that was the blocking of her. So let me show you some of the things they said right after that. Check this out. I'll be right back. Check this out.
Stepping down from his position as zoning chair, as well as Mayor Brandon Johnson's appointed floor leader. That's really kind of right-hand man for the mayor when it comes to city council work. He is accused of, the alderman, trying to physically restrain Alderwoman Emma Mitts. Now, to be clear, Alderman Ramirez Rosa is not resigning as alderman, but he is stepping down from those two critical duties. In a statement released just moments ago, Mayor Brandon Johnson said, quote, Alderman Mitts, again, the victim in this alleged incident, Alderman Mitts is a venerable leader and a woman of abiding faith who is committed to public service and the principles of accountability and mercy. Alderman Ramirez Rosa, again, the accused in this case, has acknowledged his transgressions, apologized to his colleagues, and committed himself to rebuilding trust. Still a lot to develop there, as this just happening this early.
Okay. All right, so we back, right? So again, here's an individual that's willing to go all out to help his so that it won't hurt his people. He's going to go out so that it don't hurt his people. Huh? Ain't that it? So you think so? What we don't get about this? What we don't get? Why are you trying to make a distinction about, okay, because you got your degrees, you make so much money, you live over here, you drive this, and then here I am, I'm Ray Ray. I'm on the corner. I didn't get good education. I come from a family that come out of the mug in the mud, right? But you can make a distinction against me. Now, I'm not telling you that they don't embrace everyone. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying, do you ever hear those stories when it come to us? Where are those stories when it come to us? Stuff like this. You know what we hear sometimes? We hear a story that says somebody decided they're going to pay everybody's tuition. Remember that? We were talking about Morehouse. You're going to pay everybody tuition. And everybody was throwing their hats up. Just like my Oprah said, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody happy later. But what was the backstory on that? I'm the only one who did that over here in the black corner. I know why he did what he did. I know why he did what he did. But everybody ran with that. See, when you get in trouble, you know how it is. When we get in trouble, sometimes, like I say, when we see people that get to a certain status in life, they don't know how to be. They don't know nothing about you. They don't hang around you. They don't mess with you. They don't date you. But when they're in trouble, where they come running back to you. All of a sudden, they back in the church with you. They down there get passing out food. Look at the background of that story, and you'll find out why he did what he did. You'll find out why he did what he did on that. But that's just how it goes, right? But see, these other folks here are willing because there's an objective somebody got. You know, like when you seen the whole thing, we're talking about migrants and all that, and everybody talking about I'm seeking for asylum, and you're seeing, as some of the shows that showed prior before, 7,000, no, they just coming in caravans. Seeing Isaac brother, join your hands in the caravan. Everybody can get, right? They all coming, right? But when it come to us, this ain't even, I don't even talk like, I'm more don't even talk about this, but I have to lay this out because you're going to see it when I lay it out. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. You're going to see it, right? So, all right, so they laid out his aggressions, his apologies. I didn't mean to do what I did. You know what I'm saying? I had a little zeal. But you heard he said he's going to step down from 2 positions. Wait a minute. He was getting 3 checks. He's an alderman. He worked for the city zoning, and he was the floor leader. Okay, so that's 3 checks. He got some power. Now that floor leader, okay, that's part of being with the alderman. And then you heard the report say, well, he also became the right-hand man who running it all. Did you catch that? He was the right-hand man of the one who calling it. And we, from our vision, what we looking at on that TV, he look like you look at yourself in the mirror. But his right-hand man, my man right here, the man that's sitting there trying to make it not get to so that they can go out there and get the citizens to vote for it, if that's what it is. But remember, I told you the trick language was what? Non-binding. Remember that? Non-binding. I remember the non-binding. I got a message. Hold on, let me see. I got somebody send me a message. Hold on one second. What's up, Kenji Kota? Yes, what's good, bro? What's good to you, sir? Glad you stopped by. Welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. WeUpReport. Hit that like button for me. Like, share, comment. Always welcome here. Thank you. See you stop by here. So, what I'm saying is, right? The examples that sometimes is laid out by other people, we seem to still don't get it. We got too much. We the most competitive people on the planet, but we competitive in the wrong, you know what I'm saying? The wrong spirit shit. Now I'm just gonna keep the shit 100. We compete with each other like we playing a game. You know, shit. That's just like, you know, on a holiday, get together and play some spades. Somebody trying to, reneging and we go all out, right? But there's some other folks do that. You find every excuse in the book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you something here. I got a couple more messages. Hold on, let me check what this is right here, right? Well, Keller, what's good, bro? I miss you too, man. What's good? Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Wait a minute. That's Keller in the house. Keep grinding. You know I'm gonna keep grinding, man. I'm glad to see you stop by, man. This young man right here, man. This is a young brother. I help mentor, man. See, something be like, I don't know nothing about me doing this brother right here, one of the little shorties. That's the mentor, man. He a grown man now, and yeah, I'm glad to see you stop by, Killer. Right? We're gonna exchange it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that was you, but I'm glad you stopped by. Right? So, and also too, you know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, if you should happen to have a throw in the cup, that would be well taken as well, right? So anyway, all right, glad to see you stop. I'm just messing with you though, right? I'm messing with you though, right? So we as black people, we be having problems when it comes to extending ourselves and helping our own. Step over you laying in the street, I step over you. I see something happen, I step over you. But these other folks, they understand playing the bigger picture of things. And here, when you think about, they was about to try to implement something that was going to hurt a lot of people like himself. Then you have to ask him, but what is his background? Who is he? He just like they was. Wait, what you saying, Mr. Blowman? Wait, what you saying? What you mean he just like them? He an alderman. Yes, His background is just like the people who he going out for. He walked the same. He came across the same. He got parents that come from that. And he's willing to do what it takes to help them so that we don't hurt them. At our expense, he'll do that. But when it comes to us, you be scared. You ain't going to do none of that. I'm going to lose my job. Now, you know, sometimes people don't get a hookup. You like, you hook them up one time, they keep coming, well, nigga, you make me lose my job. You can't do it every day, right? But there's times when you use your position, you help people. You got information. You help someone. You got a job or you doing something and it's with your people. And then a situation where it can't, like, let's say, for instance, let's say for instance, you work for the light company. And the person that you on the phone with, they about to get their lights cut off. And they like, well, I don't got the money and this and that. Okay, use your expertise. Hey, well, there's a program called CETA. Here's the number, 1-800, call that there. You can go apply here. They normally pay. Is it on the, it's about to get cut off? You know, use your expertise, your information to help your damn people. We don't even do that much. A lot of people just sit there and see you messed up and then laugh. You know what I'm saying? You don't extend yourself, but let it be somebody else. Your ass to go all out for them where you not. A lot of y'all do that. A lot of people hear me right now. Y'all do that. Now, some of y'all don't do it, but you know, other people I'm saying. But some people, y'all do that stuff, right? So I'm just saying, come on, man. Y'all gotta be more, because these people are willing to put it all out to have an underground railroad. And then where's that putting us? Is because why? We've been so damn selfish for so damn long that it's about to come to fruition now. Oh, it's about to come out. So I got things that I want to say. I want your thought on it. Okay. If you want to come on show that, I'll bring you in. If you want to come on live, just hang around. I'll bring you up in here, right? You know, because you know sometimes people in here they don't know. They just think But anyway, you know better, right? You know better, right? So anyway, I'm glad you said you came through tonight, boy. That's good stuff, right? So anyway, all right. So they decide based on the fact that this man got power, right? He got power, he got positions, and he's using it and he's abusing it. But he's doing it because he understands the totality of what would hurt and people like himself. So they said they were going to go ahead and censor him. Check this out. Be right back.
City Council floor. This confrontation between two alderpersons last week led to the
extraordinary day at City Hall. Aldermen pulled back the curtain on a chaotic session there last Thursday, where one alderman tried to intimidate and prevent his colleagues from voting in that chamber. So today we saw tears, cheers, lots of public comment and passionate speeches. NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski was there for it all. He is joining us now with more. Charlie?
And Alex, one more last-minute thing that came up. Alderman Scott Wagaspack bringing up a motion to censor Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa over what he did on Thursday. Now, this vote came down to the wire. Rosa's vote was removed because of Robert's Rules of Order, leaving a 24-24 split. It was up to the mayor to cast the deciding vote. He voted no, so no censure for Rosa, all over an incident that Emma Mitz, the alderman, says made her feel like she was in the South. Surrounded by members of the Chicago Aldermanic Black Caucus, all wearing black and gold shawls, 37th Ward Alderman Emma Mitz demanded an apology from her colleague, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, after he kept her off the floor on Thursday.
Every woman should be respected. No one should overexert their power or their authority on them because they can. It's unacceptable.
Moments later, Rosa, who has resigned his committee chairmanship and floor leadership positions, responded.
I sincerely apologize to you, my colleague, Alderwoman Emma Mitz, for the disrespectful interaction that we had outside of council chambers and for my overzealous attempts throughout the day to try and convince you not to be part of the quorum. I should have never done that to you. I should have never put you in that position.
Please, thank you very much.
I feel awful about everything that happened and the role that I played in everything that occurred last week.
I accept yours.
But earlier in the day, there was rancor on the council floor as members tried to take up a measure that would put Chicago's sanctuary city status on a ballot, only to see another ordinance come up that would put financial limits on the resources spent on migrants.
All right, everybody.
A public protest forced a recess of that Rules Committee meeting until noon on Thursday. So that means no vote was taken on the migrant matter. There is a kind of rapprochement between Ramirez Rosa and Alderman Mitz. I asked her just as I was leaving the council chamber if she was going to vote on the censure. She said no. This is now a time to start healing. Reporting live from City Hall, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC 5 News.
Now check that out, right? Now, you seen them, they were going to convene. Matter of fact, the people who end up doing the censor on him were other aldermen. Remember in the beginning when I showed you the Asian woman and the Italian individual? They decided to petition to have him censored, okay? That's what they did. They had petitioned for him to be censored. Well, they were going to vote on it because, again, they said he was using his powers, right? Now, remember, one of his petitions was the zoning, okay? And he was accordingly, I'm gonna relay all that out. I'm gonna give you all what they said about this, okay? But again, this isn't here to be divisive. This is not to say that as a black person, indigenous person, that I hate people of other persuasions and ethnicities. That ain't what I'm saying. But in this situation, this is racial. It has the racial element in it because black people in Chicago are feeling the financial or will feel the financial burden and being displaced because people who are able to come in and able to garner resources, housing, jobs, where people who been for generations and those kind of avenues for resources aren't there, have their reasons for why they are against Sanctuary City. Even though they may not know all the ins and outs to it, but they believe this is where the problem is at. And so they say, you know what? We got to do something about it. So they're trying to play the political route with it. So being politics, it may not be as simple to get rid of something because, again, the game is there's other facets that's tied to it that may not be known to the residents, that financial pockets are getting greased. Businesses are going to be benefiting off of it. There's a lot of other unforeseen aspects that's happening that to the regular residents, you can be considered expendable in this. Let me say that one more again. Based on the other aspects of facets that is tied into it, money-wise, business-wise, certain people in as residents of the black people can become expendable because somebody else may have an agenda or you just not part of the equation. It's kind of like watching sci-fi, watching those space-ass movies, and you never see niggas in it. I ain't gonna be seeing no niggas in that shit. So, y'all gotta say it with 100, man. I don't want to bullshit. I'm gonna tell you this, right? You don't be seeing no niggas in that shit. You see LeVar Burton, and he had to be blind, right? He was black. You can see him. He had to be black, but he had to be blind. Then they had what was the other one? What was the other one they had in there? What was it? Hawk. I think they had Hawk. Then they had one time they had Hawk in there. Hawk was in space, right? And then you had Uhura. I think that was her name, right? The sister, right? The kiss, right? The big thing with that, right? But again, you ain't gonna get 10, 20 of 30 or 60 of them, or otherwise they gotta be Klingons and stuff like that, right? So they already tell you futuristic, they don't plan on but having a couple of yous, right? Right? Just have a couple of yous in there. So I'm just saying, and the same thing here, when it comes to this projection and trajectory of where they're trying to go with this, black folks know they will be expendable when it comes to this. And so, yes, they're going to try to do what's best. Oh, I got a message here. Let me see what this message says right quick. Hold on, y'all. A failed censor vote. Right. Okay, you caught that, right? Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Right? A failed censor vote. But yet, what's crazy is about that, Kanji, I ain't gonna say, well, Killer. How about that? Killer, you know what really was tripped out about that? The people who brought it, right? Who brought it up, you would think they would have been the first one to vote for it. Vote against or yay for it, right? I ain't gonna tell you what I heard, I'm gonna tell you what I know, right? Well, let me show you something. You also heard that It failed because it was tied, right? You heard tied. And then who had the deciding vote? Who had the deciding vote? Right on your screen, right? He had the deciding vote. And basically said, you know what? It was outside of the forum, so it was really doesn't have really jurisdiction. That, you know, right? So it was before the proceeding, before anything. So they looked at the technicality. But what did they say happened? The aldermen, now check this out. The aldermen said they vetoed his overruling, went back and voted. Right? Didn't you hear him say that? They vetoed what he said, went back and voted. Let me show y'all something, man. Watch this. Watch this. I got the messages. Come on. Look at this.
The council floor. This confrontation between two alderpersons last week led to a censure vote today against one of them.
Today, more chaos, this time coming from the gallery. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza is live in the newsroom, and Sabrina, emotions were high inside chambers.
It was a tense council meeting today, an apology and a close call for Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa. He almost became the first alderman to ever be censured by his peers, which would have been a public condemnation of his behavior. All of this in response to his actions, some of which we caught exclusively on our CBS 2 cameras.
I'm not okay because I hate that we are all talking about this right now.
Alderwoman Nicole Lee joined others in voting in favor of censuring Ramirez Rosa to publicly condemn his actions during a city council special meeting. She joins other older people in filing a report with the Inspector General, alleging Ramirez Rosa threatened to withhold their zoning proposals if they chose to vote on a sanctuary city measure. The motion to censure was denied by the mayor because it didn't happen inside chambers during a meeting. Then council members overruled him and they voted again. The mayor delivered the tie-breaking vote. A censure was narrowly avoided.
I was literally blocked at that door.
Alderwoman Emma Mitz recounts what happened between her and Ramirez Rosa Thursday.
I felt like I was back in the South.
She was trying to make her way into city council when our cameras caught Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa blocking her entry.
Every woman should be respected. No one should overexert their power or their authority.
Ramirez Rosa and Mitz shared a hug during the council meeting today. During his public apology, he called his actions overzealous. He previously resigned from his positions of floor leader and zoning committee chair.
I feel awful about everything that happened and the role that I played in everything that occurred last week.
His apology extended past Alderwoman Emma Mitz. He also addressed alderpeople Taliaferro, Cardona, and Lee.
It is critical that we show each other respect. The people of Chicago deserve nothing less.
Right now, it's not clear who will become the city's next floor leader. He remains as zoning chair as well until December 1st. In the newsroom, Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News.
Right? Right? That can happen, right? Right? That sums it all up, does it not? Do everybody remember when the what was that young brother in Dallas, in Texas? Remember where he got shot? Police said she went into the wrong place and shot him. What was his name? Oh man, it slipped my mind for a second. What was his name? Oh man, I almost had it. But anyway, remember that whole case. And remember, can I get a hug? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Right? We have that propensity for what they say moral suasion. We have the highest moral suasion. But can you recall how many times can you call in your lifetime vice versa? Yeah, and I'm not trying to be divisive, y'all. We just got to tell it straight for what it is, right? We are so forgiven to really to a fault. We're so forgiven to a fault, Now, I'm not saying that you can't be forgiven and you can be like, all right, but based on what was done, they said that he, as a zoning person, was going to tell them as aldermen, well, guess what? Won't get nothing, won't be no vestas in your ward. There won't be no development because I sit in a position where I can control that. Right? Right? So if you say that, it's kind of like, okay, you giving me a choice I can't make, so I guess I better not vote for it. But then these people decided to go ahead and they say, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. Now look what look at the voting, y'all. Let me show you the vote. You ain't gonna be it's probably gonna be blurry. You ain't gonna be able to see it though. You're probably not gonna be able to see it, but I'm gonna show it to you. All right, I'm gonna show it to you on the screen. But the people that was in there, the ones that they were talking about, you probably can't see it good on your screen. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But those people who said that he did that, they didn't vote for him to be censored. They didn't vote for him to be censored, which is strange. That seems strange to me. That y'all went through the process to go ahead and get it pushed in, and then when they had a chance to get him censored, I said, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna take the high road. We're not gonna do that. So that's what they voted. Even the Asian woman, the dude that supposedly took it to the OIG, and the other one that was Teleferro, I think that was in there. He didn't do it either, right? So okay, all right, so fine, forgiveness, nothing wrong with that. But he's going all out to try to preserve for his people. And under that circumstance, if he's willing to do that to y'all, that means he's doing it. He could be doing it to other people, can he not be? If he's willing to tell them that I'm going to be able to prohibit using my position to hinder you, do you let people stay like that in that position? Okay, we brought it to the forelight. We brought it in the light, and everybody knows. And now we're just going to say, well, we're going to have to rebuild our trust with you once all over again. Is that the betterment? Is that what it, or is it like, what was this? What really was this? I got a message here. Hold on, let me see something right here. Oh, Botham Jean. Yeah, that's right. Botham Jean in Dallas. Exactly. Right? Remember that whole thing what his brother did? Can I get a hug? Can I get a hug? Okay. Okay. He forgave her. Fine. But I'm asking the question and vice versa. Give me the example and vice versa. Give it to somebody tell me and vice versa where you see that happening there. Don't be happening. It just don't happen like that. You see? And it's because some of the things that we've been taught to do. Now, let me go ahead and show y'all this now, right? Now, that dude that Carlos, I think it's Carlos Rosa, right? I think it is Carlos Ramirez Rosa, right? And when you go look at his background, you'll see that he himself would be considered to be, you know, just like those who coming from on the bus and the immigration and so forth. He's like that. He's cut like that. Both his parents, I think one of the parents is Cuban, the other one might be Puerto Rican, something like that, right? And so he can sympathize with those who come, the 20,000+ or so who've been there, as they say, trying to find places for them. Okay? So he said, well, how about this, y'all? I got an alternative that can actually do better than what y'all trying to do. And did you notice that what they originally went in there for to go vote got disrupted? So it didn't happen the first time, and when it came back the second time, it got disrupted again. Did anybody catch that? It got disrupted 2 times in a row, right? So now when they come back to convene, look what they come up with. Let me show you this. Let me show you the council meeting and be right back.
First at 4, no sanctuary from trouble. There's chaos at City Hall as protesters take over the meeting about Chicago's status as a sanctuary city. Good afternoon. I'm Anthony Ponce.
And I'm Natalie Bomke. It is the big story of the day. Explosive outbursts shutting down a council meeting.
Tempers are still flaring as we speak this afternoon. Dane Placco was in the chambers a little earlier, joins us now with the latest on this ongoing debate. Dane.
Yeah, guys, this was reminiscent of the council wars back in the 1980s. Hundreds of loud and angry protesters filling the city council gallery, forcing aldermen to pull the plug on a public meeting.
Okay, let's clear the room, Sergeant in Arms. Please clear the room. Clear the room.
This was a meeting of the City Council Rules Committee, which was about to take up debate over a proposal to let Chicagoans decide whether Chicago should remain a sanctuary city, welcoming to migrants, by putting that question onto a referendum on next spring's election ballot. But the meeting devolved into chaos after hundreds of protesters, mostly African Americans, packed the City Council gallery and began shouting down the aldermen. They're angry after a special City Council meeting on the migrant question was canceled last week when Mayor Brandon Johnson's floor leader, Alderman Carlos Ramirez Rosa, tried to prevent a quorum by discouraging aldermen from entering the chamber, including a confrontation with longtime alderwoman Emma Mitz. Well, after about a half hour, today's meeting was suspended and the crowd cleared, but not before some aldermen blamed the mayor and sanctuary city supporters of causing the chaos by trying to block the referendum.
Do you, as a resident of the city of Chicago, believe that we should remain a sanctuary city? It's a simple question.
That's why you're seeing the chaos in this city, because you're trying to silence a voice of certain people that just want to be heard.
Debate on the sanctuary city referendum will continue on Thursday when the Rules Committee continues the meeting that was suspended today. No word yet on whether any special rules or security will be in place for that meeting. Now, after the gallery was cleared today, the regular city council meeting was held as scheduled and was peaceful. Anthony?
Okay, Dane, thank you very much. Now,
into this. Let's get into this now, right? So you say efforts to block ballot question of Chicago sanctuary city status prompts more heated debate. Okay, this was the second one, right? First one was with the blocking. Then after they went through trying to do the census and so forth, went through that process, right? Came back, reconvened the week after that, and what ended up happening? It became chaos again, or they said, well, we just gonna stop the whole meeting. Okay. We seen the visuals. We seen people disrupted and people. Okay, we seen all that, right? We understand that. Now, let me show you what was said here. They're talking about how the proposal on Tuesday, which is on that day when this took place, to again the question is to what? Ask the Chicago voters to weigh in whether the city wants the migrant crisis, right? So there was an effort to block the bid, ask voters if you should remain on as a sanctuary city. Okay. This meeting, as you heard them talk about, was a rules committee meeting. The person you heard that was the chairperson who ruled this rule committee and had the sergeant of arms clear the gallery out, because while there was repeated shouts about whatever the aldermen say, which I'm gonna tell you what they were talking about. So protesters, they said, now they put it on the protesting, that they said the efforts to block the vote on an advisory referendum. Okay? Advisory referendum. Okay? As you start to develop, as you learn about more about the game of politics, there's certain words or things, you go look them up to find out what are they talking about. Otherwise, it goes right over your head and everybody just looking at that, right? So you got to know what is an advisory referendum, right? So the protest efforts, they say able to block that, right? So the meeting was called. And again, they talk about a proposed advisory referendum. Okay? Advisory referendum. Keep that check out. Advisory referendum. Okay? And they were supposed to vote on this. This was going to allow the voters to go on March for the primaries and whether they're going to keep the sanctuary city status or not. Now, so listen what they're saying, whether to keep it or not. But what made them go off? What was it that made the people go off? Was it about that? Isn't that what they wanted? Isn't that what the people wanted? The people were down for, yeah, they want to vote for that, right? So you have to ask yourself, what's the question? What was it that made them pissed off? Okay. And what happened is they offered an alternative. They gave them an alternative, and that's what ticked them off. The alternative was, should the city of Chicago impose reasonable limits on the city providing resources for migrant shelter. Let me say that one more again. What caused them to go off was that they offered an alternative to what initially what was being said as should the city of Chicago be a sanctuary city. They end up giving the alternative and saying, should the city of Chicago impose reasonable limits on city providing resources for migrant shelter? Should there be a funding cap on shelter occupancy, time limits? If you was in Chicago and that was being brought up and you originally, that's what you thought we was getting down here with, and then they change it, would it be chaos? Would there be yelling and shouting? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would have, right? So they said the audience was the result of the audience refusing to listen and who wanted to have a voice in Chicago's future. Now, yeah, that's what you're thinking. That, you know, again, a lot of people who believe in democracy and so forth really believe that as the people that we really have an input. They say, well, we talk about taxes and all that, and then we elect officials who are supposed to represent us, but then what's being presented and how politics and how it works ain't what you think it is. So I got a question. I got a comment here. Hold on one second, y'all. I got a comment here. Damn, so y'all don't want migrants. That's said Killer. Killer say, so we don't want migrants. Put that on the screen. No, it's not the fact that Chicago don't want migrants. That's not the issue. The issue is when you talk about priorities, right? Priorities. You, as a parent, had children and your children were hungry, in need of shoes, clothes, right? Your priority is to take care of them even before you take care of yourself. Now, let's say your child got a friend or some friends, and they too need shoes, clothes, a place to sleep. You might be able to let them come find a spot on the floor to lay down. You may share as much of the food you can, but when it comes to the clothes, your money is only budget enough for what you can afford to do. You can't split it because then the child can't get. So the priority is who's in line first and who should be getting as priority to the parents. And so because Black folks in Chicago don't feel they are being sought after as priority and that making other people priority, it's not anti-immigrant, it's anti ain't getting our cut, ain't getting our share. You get what I'm saying? I got a message here. Hold on one second, y'all. You say, okay, what's your view on it though? Okay, that's what our killer say here. And then I got Aboriginal knowledge, nah. Okay, and then Aboriginal say, nah, we looking out for our people, not freeloaders. We Boogie in here say salute. I'm glad to see you in here, right? Right, all the above. Aboriginal knowledge, yeah. See, we can't control Aboriginal. Let me answer to you on this. we can't, okay, when you say freeloaders, we can't control that, right? As citizens, as people of this nation, and as we cut from the cloth of Black Americans and Tasha Ditches, Niki Moores, and so forth, Black Americans, the umbrella, we can't control that, because that which has colonized, who took it over, that's his game, right? His game is immigration game. He used the immigration game as what? Somewhere is kind of a buffer. That's some way he was never to be able to deal with us. I'm going to show you something as we go on down later, that how this all is coming to us is, let's say, they're all coming to a meeting point. All the things that have been happening from past to where we are right now is all coming to a fore. And as you say, we're looking out for our people. That's the thing. Black people have decided to not to be a welcome mat anymore, to allow everybody to walk over, get before us, and that our generosity has been used as a weakness. Let me say that one more again. Black folks' generosity, kindness, over welcoming has been used. Well, your rug used to say welcome on it. It's just got an L and an E on it. It's been worn out. The welcoming has been worn out, and black folks have decided to say, well, you know, you done use me, abuse me, and now that we see down the road, you know what I'm saying, because what it is generations have gone and new generations have come, and we got a little bit more mature to how the game goes. We're now start talking about tangibles. We're talking about not just being automatically giving our vote to people just because of some tradition that some people have said that we're supposed to do, that we're now talking about quid pro quo. We're talking about in exchange for what you telling me, what you gonna do, we as a block will give. But see, it seems like now that we're talking like that, people are finding ways to circumnavigate around to not have to deal with us. You're seeing Roland Martin is closing his shop up. Why do you think he closing his shop up? Because he know ain't no way that what they pay him to do to try to get that Democratic vote, they in trouble. They know that shit. So this might be as into this migration has something to do with maybe the numbers they're going to need to replace for those that either not going to vote or those who are going to jump ship and say, we're going to give this other side a chance. So this might be part of it. Because matter of fact, let me show you something. Remember I showed y'all this? Remember I showed you when your president, when your president said this, right? Remember this? Let's go back to this, right? Remember when he said this? Back in 2014, constant, unrelenting streams of immigration, nonstop. Huh? Oh, wait, maybe y'all can see that part. Let me give you the words in case you first, you know, here. Welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. I am your host, Mr. Blows Your Mind. I am a whiteologist, and this is what we do over here. Welcome, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. Now look on your screen there, right? You see, these are the words of your president, right? Looking at me like, what's he talking about? He was on a plane with an ex-president from, I don't know whether he was from China, Asia, but he was something like that. And so he said, looking for that secret that allow America to constantly be able to remake itself, unlike any other country in the world. I said, I can presume to tell you what's in that black box. So what do you mean by the black box? You know, when a plane is flying and when it crashed, what do they go look for? The black box, right? So they saying, wait a minute, people from outside of the world is looking like, well, how come the United States ain't crashed yet? What is it, y'all ancient Chinese secret that'll keep this place going? So he said, now that I can presume to tell you how we do what we do, he said, because the countries have been looking for the black box. We've been waiting for you to crash so we can go get the black box. He said, no, you ain't gonna get no black box. Let me tell you what the secret is. He said, well, Mr. President, I'm old enough now. I said, now wait, let me get the other part for you. Hold on. In case you new over here, ain't never seen this before, right? In case you ain't never seen it before. Those who've been over here, they know what this is, right? It goes on and say, now this is the transcript. This ain't my word. This is the transcript. This is what it said, right? It's the second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, nonstop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent from this time 2017, we will be an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. So now it's twofold to this. We know that the immigration is here to do what? Unstop. Are we seeing it? Unstop. Now, when he did this, he was what? A vice president, was he not? He wasn't president yet. So how did he know the future of unstop, unrelenting? Because we know one aspect was Barack Obama in 2012 made DACA. Remember that? DACA. Matter of fact, DACA is on the verge of next year. By August, the decision shall be made that they already know what it is. The reason why Chicago been influx and New York was getting influx from Florida and New York, you see what Ron DeSantis was doing, but in Texas and other states had sued saying that DACA was unconstitutional. So in their district court, the decision came and gave them the option to say, okay, since you said that this is going to be a financial burden on you, Texas, you don't have to do it. But don't make us make the ruling yet, the way it would be throughout the country. So Texas said, okay, Chicago, here you go. You can have all mine, right? You're a sanctuary city. So that's why all the buses from Texas were coming into Chicago, because now the process of the case that was in Texas, allowing for the DACA case to have its day in Supreme Court. And dig? All right, we the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube, right? Appreciate that. I appreciate that, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's where they coming from, right? Matter of fact, let me put you on the, you know, I gotta be switching back and forth on here, right? So that's how you end up getting that immigration. And again, so when you come to Chicago and it being a sanctuary city, and also Illinois is a sanctuary state. Let me say that one more again. Now, also Chicago, a sanctuary city, it's a sanctuary. Illinois is a sanctuary state throughout the whole state. Now, with that being said, now you know why that the city council could not let that referendum go get passed, because even if that's why the word was said advisory referendum, non-binding. Let me say that one more again. Now you know why that the wording in there said non-binding the first time, and then the second time it came back as an advisory referendum, meaning even if they voted on it, even if the residents voted on it, it could not change. Why? Because it had to come from the state. The state is the one. Knocked me out, y'all. Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm back now. Okay. Yeah, they knocked me out on that one. Ain't that something? Huh? You know why I can't get past 100? You know why I can't get 200? Do you know why? Do you know why? Anyway, so with that being said, that's what that is, right? So that's why they can't do it. So that's why they end up coming with what? The alternative. The alternative. Right? The alternative is to do what? Let me go ahead and show on the screen there, give you the alternative. So they're gonna come with the alternative, right? And look at what happened. Just watch this alternative. Look. Now, remember who was the individual that was doing the blocking? Who's the one they had put down for the censor? And check this out. Watch this.
Crossing a milestone today at City Hall.
Yeah, WJN's Brona Tumulty is joining us now from downtown with more details. Brona?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, it's called the Bring Chicago Home Coalition, and council members gave it the green light today to head to public referendum in March. And the idea is to take the cash made on the sale of pricey Chicago homes and use that money to put roofs over the heads of the homeless.
Hey, hey, hold up! It's time to bring Chicago home!
Celebrations today at City Hall following a lengthy committee meeting in which the majority of council members approved the submission of the Bring Chicago Home campaign for public referendum in March, which could, if approved by city voters, provide a permanent revenue stream to tackle homelessness.
Chicago is on the path for the first time ever to have a dedicated, permanent source of funding to make sure that housing is a human right.
But how would it do that? Well, the idea centres around something called the real estate transfer tax.
One-time tax paid for by the buyer.
Which is currently the same for everyone. But Bring Chicago Home would introduce 3 tiers, meaning the more your home sells for, the higher the hike.
Currently we have a flat tax. This would raise it on properties that sell for over $1 million and then raise it slightly a little bit more on properties that sell for over 1.5.
Alderman of the 35th Ward, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, says policy experts maintain this would generate $100 million annually.
That $100 million is an average.
That money could then be used in support services and outreach for the 68,000 Chicagoans currently homeless, of which, according to the mayor, 17,000 are students.
Housing is a human right, and homelessness is up 12% since 2019, and Black Chicagoans account for almost 70% of the unhoused population.
But 16 aldermen voted against the measure today, some unwilling to sign off on it without a clear picture of where the $200 million in the current budget has been spent to date.
I want to know how much, to this date, how much of that $200 million has been spent.
We can definitely get you that number, Alderman.
I guess I haven't gotten an actual answer to my question, and I think it's an important one.
Next year's budget allocates $250 million, but those holding the purse strings say much of that is from grants, some of which the clock is ticking on.
So much of that funding is reliant upon the American Rescue Plan, which that funding sunsets in 2026.
Crossing a milestone.
All right. So what happened? Chicago City Council approves putting Bring Chicago Home referendum on March 2024 ballot. Let me say that one more again. Chicago City Council approves putting Bring Chicago Home referendum on March 2024 ballot. Now remember, they originally was trying to do what? Sanctuary city, right? They were trying to put a referendum to do that, but it got altered, correct? Right? I got a couple of messages here real quick. Let me get these in there, right? Okay, I got Kenji Kota, Chicago Sanctuary City, but still has idiots or a lot of immigrants, my fault. I think YouTube shadow banned you. Now it's beyond shadow ban. This channel here, if you put my name in the search engine, you're going to get a white woman named Maddie Crum. What does Maddie Crum and Mr. Blows Your Mind channel got in common? The name ain't even the same. You can't find my channel again unless you subscribe. You might got lucky today, but tomorrow you come back and try to find me, you won't find me. I've been in the business for 12 years, y'all. Do you see? Go look at my last 5-6 years. I can't get past 100 views. I can barely get 100 views. I can't get 200 views. I used to get 300,000, 50,000. None all that, right? So you say shadow ban, bruh? This beyond shadow ban. This is put in a dead corner, behind the dead corner, behind the dead corner, up under, and you understand? How do you get the same numbers every time? Same many likes, the same many views every time. That ain't by coincidence, y'all. Those, you know, some people understand it, some people don't get it. He said they could have tagged you with fake news. They've been doing that a lot. Okay, it's possible too, right? But I mean, it's obvious. Like I said, some things have just become so obvious that, you know, I just accept that, right? So sometimes, like I said, when I post certain things, when I be doing this, it's not because I'm saying, you know, I'm sitting here with a cup and I'm begging. It's like, just imagine I've been doing this as long as I've been doing this. I've been telling news. I've been telling truths of news for 12 years. Right? Well, a lot of people you see in here, a lot of people that get the views and then they talking about, no. I've been on the wall. I've been watching on the wall. I've been telling things that they put out. It's public information. This ain't nothing like some secret. This ain't no secret. It's just, you know, things that sometimes everybody else is caught up with their daily life. You don't have the time. I make time. I bring it to the channel, bring my information, things I found over the week. And just as I just told you now, a lot of people who in Chicago may have a better understanding of what done just took place based on what I done told you. And now they knew you were going to figure out non-binding. They knew you were going to figure out advisory referendum, right? Then I got another one that's going to really show you something that they buried it, but you're going to see it over here, right? So when I put this up there, and those who just think, oh man, you need to talk. Okay, one day you're gonna come looking for me, and I won't be no more. Now, totally take me out off of this channel, right? And you know, anyway, but I do what I do, right? Because I love doing what I do, and I love telling our people stuff. And just anyway, Boogie says immigration is the colonizers. They're really wide. They really need slaves to help them to interbreed. That too, right? I think it's all the above. Boogie as well, right? I think interbreeding is part of it. I think cheap labor is another part of it, and I think also just the displacement of Black Americans, right? Because see, you got to ask yourself this. Think about it like this. In this country, everybody an immigrant, but who? Everybody in this country primarily is an immigrant except who? But yet the story they tell us say they brought us. So if you claim you brought us here, and we immigrants by that, right? By that we should be there. So why don't we still get the same cut? Let me say this one more again. If you just like everybody else, why do they go all out their way to make sure you don't get nothing? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you something. Right? So anyway, let's look at this Bring Home Chicago, right? So that's what they did. They end up swapping out and bringing the Chicago City Council approved a binding. Now check this out. When they talked about the Chicago home, they said binding referendum. Now the other one was advised. The one before this one was advisory, which is just advising, have no binding. And the original one was non-binding. But guess what? This one is binding. So this one is going to appear on the March 2024 ballot. Now you know why the people were going off in there. So the voters will decide whether to authorize the city council member. Now listen to this. What they're going to do is vote so that the city council members can go back, and then they're going to raise the real estate transfer tax on high-end property sales to fight homelessness. Let me say that one more again. So this Bring Chicago Home that is going to now appear on the ballot instead of what originally was proposed, originally what people thought they were going to do. And now the voters are going to decide whether they want the city council members to raise the real estate transfer tax on high-end property sales to fight homelessness. Okay, so check this out. Ain't that something? Right? That's what they do. They change that up now, right? Okay. Okay. So you might be saying, okay, what you mean by transfer tax, right? Well, let me show it. Let me tell you like this, because there's the formula of when they talk about it's called what's it called? Tiers, I think it is. I think it's called tiers, right? It's called market tiers. When you talk about real estate market, you talk about tiers. There's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. It depending on the stage of the development of the real estate market from where you live, right? So a tier 1 city would be something like they have developed and established real estate market. They have a developed and already established real estate market. Those are normally your tier 1s. They're highly developed. They have desirable schools and facilities and businesses, right? And they have the most expensive real estate. So, New York is one, California one. Chicago would be in that as well, right? So tier 1. Tier 2s will be like they have the process of developing their real estate market. So they have the process of developing it. They're like up and coming maybe cities or places. You will have a lot of companies that invest in these areas. They haven't really reached their peak as to what they really could be developed into. So those will be your tier 2 types in real estate. A tier 3, they also have inexpensive. They're inexpensive, but as time goes, the market will change and the prices will go up. So those are your tier 2s. Tier 3s will be places that were undeveloped and non-exist real estate markets. They normally have cheap. Now, just imagine with all the immigration and the things and the displacement that's happening, and there's going to be let's say a back migration. We have in the I'm gonna give you the history about 1879, but really they talk about when it comes to Black Americans or Indigenous Americans. There's the history of the Great Migration, they call it. We say 1910 to 1940 to 1940 to 1970, where Black Americans are leaving the South, right? They're migrating to the northern parts because jobs and potential economics, right? And then there's World War II, so there's a lot of white men dying, so there's opportunities, right? And so that's where you get a lot of your people that coming out of the South, they're coming into the cities, Detroit, Chicago, New York, and so forth, and like that, right? Baltimore, all these places, this is what people are coming out of. And so now you think about it like this. Those who left the South that went into these cities, these metropolitan cities and stuff, they were young. They were in their 20s, some of them, in their 30s, right? It could have been some older ones, but I'm pretty sure more of the people that probably migrating were probably one of the older ones who were trying to, seek opportunity and stuff like that. When I look at my family, I look at the age of them, they was in their early 20s. A lot of them that was coming up into, when you talk about Chicago, New York, Detroit, and so forth like that. So think about it like this. Those of you who above 20, in your 30s and older, right? So when you're in your 20s, you're going to a new place, new adventures. It's a new game. It ain't like where you used to be. You got to learn the ins and outs. You got to learn the politics, right? And they only got seasonal work. See, this aspect of our history, we don't talk about. And today's kids, when they look at again, a lot of time I'll be looking at some of these channels and I'll be hearing some of the conversations, and I hear even some people who are older, they seem to can't articulate the connection of how the migration of the South is coming up, and then looking at the time and then looking at the money that's being made. We're not talking about the ones who graduated out of school and got degrees and made a certain amount. We're talking about just the workers. We're talking about the everyday workers, the so-called working poor and middle class, right? Just like in Detroit, you had people that were in there going to the Motor City, working there, was able to establish, working at them plantations, making those cars, was able to buy homes, take care of their families. And then when they pulled that economic resource from them, look at Detroit today, right? All them homes that they now over there are going to destroy because people can't afford, and then the water that went in there, right? So, so what ended up happening with a lot of the population? Detroit used to be the blackest city. It lost its status maybe a year or two ago. It's not, because a lot of people are leaving, just like a lot of people leaving out of Chicago. Why? Being displaced. So as I told you about the tier 3s trying to find places that the money that you do have, you can go there and live. But what's happening there too? A lot of places in the South, aren't you starting to see a little bit more foreigners in there? It ain't as all this black South as much as it used to. They're starting to nickel dime, right? Right? So, I got a message here. So, what you saying here, Kenji? I remember when you started to get the 100,000 or 100,000 views on each post. Your videos was viral. That's crazy. And since you live stream, you should be considered Twitch or kick you the stream of all the 3 platforms. It would look. I don't went on Facebook. I couldn't get no views on Facebook. I went on Twitter. I can't get no views on Twitter. It don't matter. I must be on the list. You understand? I'm on the list. And when you on the list, they're not gonna allow you to be heard. So what I am is like you on top of the let's say the Empire State Building, whatever the top floor is. I'm at the ground yelling up at you. That's what I am. I'm down at the ground and you at the top of the building and I'm yelling. There ain't nothing you can see me if you happen to see me and be like, well, you down there yelling, but nobody would even see from that far up. So that's how they got me. I'm so far away from people so not to be heard. And so they give me the 100 drip. They said, be happy with that. You at least get 100, right? You be happy with that. So, okay, it's not how big your army is. If your army is, what had the movie 300? They only had 300, right? So I got 100, right? But anyway, but that's just part of it, man. That's part of the game. Most people would have taken it personal and say, you know what? I wouldn't be doing that shit. That shit, I'm feeling like, no, I understand. See, I understand how the game go. And people do that because they want to break you. They want you to feel self-loathing about yourself and say, you know what? There's something wrong with me. I'm not good at what I'm doing. Ain't nobody trying to listen to you with nothing what you're trying to say. So that's the psychological part that they play with when they do that to these. A lot of them, think about this. If black people the most entertaining, right? We the one that got all the culture and stuff that people want to find. What would make y'all think that the black corner wouldn't be the most populous corner in the world? Let me say that one more again. If black people from the Americas sets the tone and the culture that everybody else around be trying to follow and do, and if you could get a chance to get in and hear what we talking about, how will we not be the most populous, the not most watched? If you didn't regulate it, if you didn't quarantine us off, if you didn't put us over in this section here, making it harder, and them other people, you made them easier to find. What you think? Who would be running it? Don't you know just because what we do here on this little corner, the black corner, that the builders that they reject, a lot of stuff that we talk about eventually gets out there somehow, some way. Then you got a lot of our people who take some of the stuff here and go on to TikTok and things like that. So, yeah, it may be a drip. You know what I'm saying? You ever been asleep and that drop driving your ass crazy? You got to get up and go turn the drop because that drop driving you crazy. That's what that is. See, the drip is loud enough that disturb you, right? Because it's just making it obvious what's being done here. That's what I'm doing. I just make it obvious. Because anybody who will sit there and then they try to, again, I'm the struggle streamer, right? I'm the struggle streamer. But guess what? I don't take offense to that. Because, see, I understand, like when you play sports, when motherfucker got to double team you, triple team you, and say you don't get, let's say they double, triple team you, you normally getting your 30, 35, 40, but you only got about 10 or 12 that night. Yeah, they stopped you, but it took 3 of them. So we should have still won because that leaves 2 other people open. So if you get yours tonight, I didn't get mine as a sacrifice so we could win. Yeah, you get it? Okay, anyway, let me get off that. Right. So anyway, but that's the thing. See, that migration of that South, we went in there, young people went out there, they had to learn the game. So that's why when people say black people don't understand, we ain't developed, no, you got to remember, we got split. Those in the South, the game stayed the same because it was that game always what it was. Those who came up out those South, went up into these cities, had to learn the new politics of being in places that was redlining them out, keeping them from doing stuff. They was only working like seasonal work, right? See, everybody don't talk about that. So where all that hustling coming from is because you seasonal work, you work from, let's say you start from April and you go to like, let's say maybe October, right? So that means you got November, December, January, February, March. Then you come, so you're going to be off 5 months. So you know what I'm saying? There's a lot in that history that today's people don't really talk about. A lot of them don't connect that because a lot of them was out in them streets. A lot of them up in them jails. A lot of them was selling that drugs. So now they can come back and tell you, they can tell you about life, about that. But see, it's mugs like me who was still there while you was in that. I was still dealing with every day on the life, on the daily struggle, but I'm still here. So my perspective, the way I'm telling things, this is different from that. These is most like me can't get on here and do this. They're coming and listen, and they got knowledge to spit. You give them the mic, they'll do it because they're the ones that was taking care of their family. They were the one that was still living down in the hood. Again, they know the mother that's on the corner. They're doing what they're doing. They know them too. You understand? But they was taking care of their family. So they see all sides of it. They deal with all the environment the same way. So my thing is just, I'll take that down for me, sir. Take that down. So my thing is, I do this because I know that we need that, because again, you can't take anything that most of us got, and that was been one of our problems. We don't like to share. And some of the stuff that some people know, if you go and you don't pass this along, that means somebody got to be raised up to get that same mentality like you got, and then they start. It's kind of like saying when a child don't have a father, or a son don't have a father, and he has to go out in the world and learn. He is a generation or 2 behind, because normally that's why the other people got an advantage over us. They got granddaddy, daddy, and you. So you getting granddaddies throwing wisdoms and jewels at you, daddy throwing them at you. So now you done accumulated their stuff, then you bring your own. So now when you develop, you got some knowledge. So when we do it, it's just everything we have accumulated in our experience. See, we be having some disadvantages. But what then happened is, as much as the propaganda is trying to tell us that we don't be with our children, that we don't take care of our children, Gen X men were trying to do that. Gen X men had to fight against the fact that, okay, you had driving jobs, warehouse jobs. You again, a lot of labor jobs, not jobs that you're going to really come up real big and stack your money like that. Just enough sufficient, be able to maintain, so forth. But they were able to stay and maintain their families if they can endure that relationship with a woman that sometimes, again, women are programmed, because it's not like being a young man when you can go outside and be rough and run and tough and down. Girls can go outside and they play jump rope and all this stuff. We ain't talking about today's women. All that shit that we seeing is red and all that. We ain't talking about that, because there was a time when that there was looked upon, and people had a little bit more control about. They had a little bit more control. Let's put it that way. So girls will watch more TV. It's easy to have programmed them, because why? You got the baby doll, all the shit on TV, selling you all the shit in them damn books. So that's why it took her and allowed her to come up into that college, because he could program her. See, the black man being X'd out, he has to deal with not getting the hard way, going through the process, learning the system as he goes. So the thing is, the black man knows the damn system, and the woman, she'll end up getting an education. And then the difference is she's educated, you not, we incompatible, but she compatible with your enemy. He keep her right next to her. You know what I'm saying? So then we learn now to change that. She done learned that, no, I got to come back. Because see, all that feminism shit got you away from us, drew you away from. Like I said, I done said over the years, only person who has been black is the black man like me. We don't want to stay like everybody else fell into some other category. You got people that are trying to be because of their sexual preference. You got other people because of their gender. You got being feminist. You got other mothers because they want to be under some kind of umbrella of religion, whether it be Rastas. You got we felt everything else and got away from being black. So now we got this Voltron back to being black because we're being forced to now, right? Now again, there's some of our people out here who will be like, I ain't black. I ain't with that black shit. I'm this, and that, and they get into that law and all that. Fuck all that. Whatever going to unify us, got to unify us. So that's just my thing here, man. But let me get back into this. Killer, you know you be doing that, right? You be doing that, right? Anyway, but I'm glad you over here, right? So let me get back to this because I'm doing this. Okay, so now again, that's the cheers and all that stuff, and again. So here they is, they're going to say they're going to allocate taxes to make up for the compromise and saying, we found a resource that can help for, some of the residents who are saying that, y'all don't take care. You heard Brandon Johnson say that 12% since 2019, the homeless number has gone up. And whatever number that is, 70% of the people are black. And a lot of them are children who go to school and be homeless. So they said this here is going to give at least 100 million a year. Keep that in mind. 100 million a year. Now, those of you who have heard, remember they were saying $40 million a month they're spending on them. Think about this. You gonna say $100 million, and I'm not gonna say that every penny of that Chicago home, right, is gonna be allocated for just homeless. It's probably gonna be, cut up and given the other aspects. So you're splitting 100 million, and you're spending 40 million a month. How's that a good even trade? And it's still predicated on whether people come and develop in the city. You understand? So it sounds good, but when you really look at it, it ain't good. But it's, again, see how you had our people, hey, ho, ho, that the homeless just got to go, hey, ho, right? It had a huckabucking out there. And, and then you have a lot of people on here in the corners, they talk a lot about you old niggas. I get it. I get it when people say the old niggas and y'all, you can only relate to the time that you walked in. Times before, you can only read. You may see the culmination of somebody who lived longer than you and then see them and say they ain't got nothing, but they just been in the fight longer than you. You staying long enough, depending on what you're doing to make your money, you may end up, it's like saying a young boy say when he was little, his daddy wasn't there. He said, when I grow up, I ain't gonna be like my daddy. I'm gonna be a father to my children. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna take care of that. Yes, that's a good model to, have a platform and build yourself upon. But the reality of life and the things that end up happening may turn that. You may have children with a woman and things can't work no matter what it is. Oil and water can't mix, making it hard for you to really be with your child. Also, the fact that you can't really maintain a job because every time you try to be just yourself a man, that's not what they want. They want you to be a kiss ass. There's a lot of dynamics we don't talk about. It's a lot of dynamics we don't talk about. And there's a lot of people from different generations who looking back and then they say, based on where you are today, You know the game had to evolve, because if the game stayed the same, then you would understand what's really going down. So a lot of us, man, I see a lot of brothers that be in here, and I see a lot of brothers with some age on them, and it's like they don't know how to connect them dots. But when you over here, WeUpReport, we're gonna connect the damn dots. So I ain't gonna tell you what I heard, I'm gonna tell you what I know. Now, so that's that tier stuff when it comes to that, right? So all that again, so how does that work? It's predicated whether people come in, invest, develop, make that work, and then you're gonna allocate that $100 million. That's not really guaranteed, it's only estimated, right? And that's supposed to be, as he said, a solution for that. It's not a solution. It's not a solution. And then they said they're going to put it on the, okay, think about this. The referendum is going to go on for 2024, right? Then they got to vote on it. Then it come back to them. They got to now vote on it. That could take either a year, may not take a year. So then let's say 24, then 25. So that's still almost 2 years away. Still maybe 2 years away. You know how much going to change in the next year, 2 years as things are developing? So by the time all that fruition, you ain't getting nothing. You won't be there to get nothing. You get what I'm saying? So let me show you what else they doing. Let me show you something else real quick. Let me show y'all. Now, look at this here. I seen this too. Now I want you to peep this. I want you to peep this. Check this out.
Program begins to give migrants who are living in shelters permits to work in the United States. An application program tomorrow will help process 150 migrants. NBC5's Courtney Sisk breaks down how the process will work and who it leaves out.
When immigrants are given the opportunity to apply for a work permit, we do. When immigrants are given the opportunity to find jobs, we do.
Starting Thursday, new Chicago migrants will have a one-stop shop opportunity to apply for work permits through a pilot project in partnership with federal, state, and city governments. The Resurrection Project of Chicago is heading the process, and while 150 migrants will start the workshop Thursday, they're hopeful to process 300 a day after Thanksgiving.
At the workshops, they will be going through a legal screening, so attorneys will determine if the immigrant is eligible to apply, and if they are, then volunteers will help with the application itself.
Agents from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services will be on site to accept applications and begin their process. It could take just 1 to 2 months before migrants can start work, but the project doesn't include everyone.
Unfortunately, the current program is actually excluding the long-term undocumented community who has lived in Chicago for a long time.
According to the Resurrection Project, 180,000 undocumented immigrants live in Chicago and have been waiting decades for work permits.
That community will continue to be left out. The Biden administration has not opened up a parole and work permit program for the undocumented community. This includes dreamers.
Immigrants at a Brighton Park migrant meeting this week voiced their frustration with the move.
It's not that I'm against the migrants. It's just it's not fair. There's been plenty of Mexicans who've been here a long time and they still don't even have a permit.
Resurrection Project officials estimate 11,000 of the 20,000 migrants in Chicago will be eligible for the work permits. Reporting downtown, Courtney Sisk, NBC5 News.
The program begins to give migrants
So we back, right? So migrant jobs. One-stop shop. They gonna go from the shelter to a place that's gonna provide them with jobs. The government gonna come in. They're gonna be able to help them to set up the asylum seeking green card. Get a job. And the program, this Resurrection Center, when I did my research on that, you know what they do? They get millions and millions of dollars to build up property for their people. Let me say this one more again. You see how they playing it off like that to go get a job? The thing that's the resurrecting center is a developing, get money and build. Why is black folks saying where see, this is how, again, go back to the beginning when I was talking about the conversation with Neo and Morpheus. Having the sentient agents, the ones that look like us, that be in position, the gatekeepers and all. How is it that we don't be having people in positions that do these same things when it comes to us? We've been here as long as we've been here. The game has to be rigged. You know what I'm saying? See, when people come from other places and they see not all of our people that struggle, and I seen your message there too, Yakubia. He said 2 years, you're gonna have a new president and mayor, right? Right. I can say so much on that. I will, but not yet. But anyway, right? So where's our people when it comes to having these organizations that, know how to get government grant money, take them funds and redevelop areas? Why we didn't have people like that? Why did everybody believe that getting away from their own people was always best? You use the kickstand or the pacifier to say, oh, they got better schools. They don't have crime. Okay. So take all our talent, all our best people. Yes, we know that, some people just are born and not raised, right? Let me say that one more again. Some people just born and not raised. What you mean by that, Mr. Blower? Being born is just somebody had you and you just kind of figure shit out as you go along. Being raised is somebody took the time to groom you, give you the A's and Z's. You know what I'm saying? From crawl to walk, walk to run. Develop, help you to develop. So everybody, again, don't get to choose who they come from. It's just that's the look of the pull of the card. And so sometimes, based on the way that this game has been designed, they had areas that we all had to live in. Now, if you ever lived in the hood, you ever had some people that lived in the hood that they ain't supposed to be in the hood, but they had to be there because that's until they could get out? The kids, they be smart, and the father, they work, they just down there and they just wait for their break to get up out of there. It's like that's what everybody do. They just can't wait to get up out of there because of the conditions. And again, poverty breeding, what poverty does, lack of economic resources and abilities to gain it. And then when you threw the crumb in there with the drugs, turn that into a resource, even though it was like the Ouroboros is the snake that eats his own ass. Yes, you sell the drugs to the people in your community who are getting sick off what we're getting hooked on it, and then it's just a perpetual cycle. That's kind of like, again, the snake eating his own ass. And then we have people who taking that and they say, well, shit, if they didn't do it, somebody was going to do it. But why is it that other people understood not to do that? I'm not saying that there was no drug selling in these other communities. I would be lying if I said that. But we knew that the studies have shown the binding of our melanin and what drugs do to us under that, just like they was doing with the menthol, just like they was doing with the damn malt liquor. It was scientific ways of doing shit to us. Using science. So when they say crack was a concoction, was it not? Was it something that when somebody was cooking crack and making crack, it was like a laboratory? So that means that somebody knew about putting that together, made that, and understood that, and understand the potency and so you put all that, despair, lack of education, You make a big Molotov cocktail. So we have endured a lot, y'all. And now what is coming to now is everybody who felt like running away, getting away, may be forced to live back with people you've been running and hiding from all this time. Some of you. I remember seeing somebody say, they say, you know, we're going to get bad when you're seeing Puffy and Ray Ray running down the street together, right? Puffy being, okay, he probably millionaire, billionaire, and then the regular average Joe running together, running away together because they both getting chased by the same mother. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it go, man. So here they is, able to get resources allocated to them, set up by the system, and yet you just got here. You know, as I talk about that migration part, and we came into these cities, and they used the word migration, just like they're doing now, but there was nobody who you could find, oh, it's wrong that they're sleeping outside, it's snowing. You didn't see, nah. Matter of fact, if you go back and read your history about after they called the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, those in Washington, D.C. was the first ones, right? According when they let them go, they were just living on the street. Think about that. You've been housed and living in this slave pen, then let you go, but where do you go? So they were sleeping in the streets after emancipation. And you know what else was happening? You know how we went through 2020, March 13, 2020, liquid blanket? Well, guess what? They went through it too. With nowhere. They wouldn't even able to go inside. They had to deal with it. So when people think that, you know, hard times will be here that we're going to be dealing with, and that a lot of people get scared, hey, man, your people have persevered some of the most worst things, and we still here. This is why World had to do what they doing to us outright openly, because they done tried everything in the damn book to get rid of you. Your ass still here. Let me say that one more again. They done did everything. Everything. Gave you crap. They done they done did everything they could do to you. Boy, you thought that was a foolproof plan. They thought that was going to work. Yeah, let me understand what I'm saying. I want you to understand. They thought that was going to work, y'all. That was supposed to work. But Most High made a sacrifice happen, y'all. Because just imagine if George Floyd don't happen, we still be locked in the house. Let me say that one more again. If George Floyd don't happen, you still be pumping you with that shit. Did y'all understand that? If George Floyd don't happen, because George Floyd's situation made people say they didn't even think about what they supposed to have been in the house running and hiding from. It was all outside together, gathered up. If George Floyd, so guess what will probably end up happening? Maybe we don't even notice that all this that's happening now, we don't get to see it. Listen what I'm saying. If that don't take place and you don't break the protocols of being outside and being amongst each other, keeping that mask on, everything that you seeing was going to happen. But because it got broken, we got to see it. We got to see it. There's a lot of people out here who tell me that the George Floyd wasn't even real. I don't know how you still in business. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even real. Okay, whatever you say, man. Whatever, man, right? But anyway, so here it is. They're able to get all these things, man. Set up shop, all this. It's a one-stop shop. They're going to deal with their green card, status. He said 180,000 undocumented people who cannot even apply for this program because they already been in this country so long and undocumented that they wouldn't be able to qualify for that. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, but matter of fact, did y'all know this though? Did you understand this? Let me show you this, huh? Do you know that it's a 10-year waiting list just to get their court date when they file that paper to be, whether to check on their status, whether they're asylum seeking? Because you know, to do asylum seeking, it's really applying with an application, and then they're going to check what you claim on there to go find out if this is true. Then you have your court date. But look what you see, it's on your screen there. 10 years it takes for them to get that court date. Let me say that one more again. 10 years. Now you see why they all flooding up in here? Don't you see it take 10 years once you get up in here? And then you got places like Chicago, New York, I don't know, was it Oregon, Colorado? There's, you know, these sanctuary cities, right? Right? Or states. So you get in here, get protected, and then, well, in this case, some of them could just hide out, and then others who are trying to apply can get 10 years. Now you see why you heard in that story says they're giving them a work permit. Huh? They're going to be here for a minute. They'll be here for 10 years. Now think about this. 10 years. 10 years. What come out every 10 years? What come out every 10 years, y'all? Census. Census come out every 10 years, don't it? Oh, so if the census come out every 10 years, so did you know that, did you know that in Chicago, they was debating over the ward map? Huh? The ward map. Wait. The ward map. You know who get more power allocation resources to a community? Damn, wait a minute. Huh? Wow. Huh? Let me show you something, huh? Look. That's the ward map in Chicago. That's the ward map in Chicago. Now, let me show you how it look dynamic when they talk about race.
Areas of our city. And what we talk about are the south and west sides. We talk about the southwest side. We talk about the northwest side. And we also talked about the areas of our city. And hold on, put that up.
See that map there?
I think that's the picture. I don't know why you're doing that. All right. I don't want to take that off. What we talk about and what we talk about are the south.
As you see that map there, right? You see that map? The one I showed you, I'm gonna show it to you quick because that's probably the still one, not the talking one. But
areas of our city.
Let me show it to you again.
What we talk about are the south and west sides. We talk about the southwest side. We talk about the northwest side. And we also talked about the areas of our city. And what we talk about are the south and west sides. We talk about the southwest side. We talk about the northwest side. And we also talked about the areas of our city. And what we talk about are the south and west sides. We talk about the southwest side. We talk about the northwest side. And we also talked about the
they're in there battling for territory. And so now the Hispanic Latinos are using the influx of migrants to gain more territory. Because remember, I just showed 10 years, right? That means census, right? Uh-oh, okay, I got a message. Hold on. Okay, Bill Gabe said the black parts are the red blood colors. Okay, right? Okay, he said that too, right? So, yeah, green meaning go and red meaning stop, right? Also that too, right? Could be that as well. So what that's saying is there's a territorial war that's going on, unbeknownst to the outside. And matter of fact, let me show you something. Look at this. Hold on, no, not that one. The other one. All right. So look, they end up, the controversial new ward map. 16 black wards to 14 Latino wards. They just made that map 2022, May 16. Blacks originally was supposed to have 18 to 14. So what they did is they compromised. There was a compromise happened, which means that blacks lost 2 wards. So it's almost closing the gap, right? According to what they say, Chicago between 2010 to 2020 claimed they lost 10% of the population. Let me say that one more again. According to what they say, Chicago lost 10% of its population, black population, between 2010 to 2020. Some of the aldermen said, no, because y'all didn't go door to door and count through the census, and so we're undercounted, which is now leaving the door open. So the compromise is areas, because they rechanged the map, and anybody who know about Chicago, Inglewood is now cut up. It ain't gonna be Inglewood. It's they done put it in 5 different territories. They add them to other areas and incorporating them in there. So it won't be Inglewood. They're gonna be incorporated in other wards. So as I showed you, 10 years it takes for the process. So that means by the next census, you're gonna keep flooding, keep displacing. Before you know it, first thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. The kin folks said, hey, Jed, move away from there. Down south is the place we ought to be. So we loaded up the truck and we're going down south. Okay. Matter of fact, this article had just came up. This article here. Census project U.S. population bust by 2080. Now, what's unique about this here? What I want to show you, tell you about. They say, I'm gonna show it to y'all. Let me show y'all something. Oh, you can see that good on your screen. They say, now right now we in 2023, right? And according to this, they talking about, they say we 14, sometimes you can see where we 14.2%, sometimes you see 13 point, okay, it fluctuates. But those who've been around it, boy, been saying 12, 13 for how long, right? 12, 13%. Now, according to this here, what they said here, black folks still gonna be 13% in 2080. Let me say that one more again. They claim, they're estimating that black folks will still be 13% in 2080. If you know anything about my channel, it's like me saying, how is it that every video I do, I'm only getting 100 views, 20 likes for the last 5, 6 years? How is it like, I mean, there's some of y'all that the first time you ever come over here, right? So I get that view, but it's always the same number. So how can they project something unless they know something or got it fixed in the way they always go? Wait a minute. You saying right now, wait, 2023 to 2080 is what's that? Next 57 years. we ain't gonna grow an inch. They're projecting the next almost 60 years, we still gonna be the same percentage of people. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? Huh? Ain't that crazy? How's that possible? How can you project that some people will not grow? Now, we know you have a problem with baby. We understand what Joe Biden said, unrelenting, nonstop. This particular group of people will be a minority from then on. Well, how we get to stay there? We don't got no problem. I think, we don't have a problem with having babies. The problem is a lot of us don't stay with our own to keep that, keep us what we are and keep, growing that. We go other places. So having babies ain't a problem for us. Now, staying at home is that might be another issue, but having babies ain't our problem. But people ain't doing everything in the whole agenda. To me, what I'm saying is, I think LGBT is kind of like a prophylactic. That's why they're indoctrinating them babies as little as they is, because that makes them not to have no offsprings. And who are you doing the most? Because it seems like the one that they like to parade the most is when you get somebody from us, boy, they sure love parading that mug to the front, don't they? Make him the poster child, like the origin. It all started from you. Kabir Kabay says that 13% count in the census since 1965. Exactly. And they gonna tell you in 2080 you still gonna be there. So what they know. So from your count, 1965, 35 will make you 2000. 35 plus 80 is 115 years. You will be stuck at 13%. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy? Huh? So what they know that we don't know. They know something, or something is being done, or maybe you bigger than what you think you are. Maybe you could be, right? So yeah, that's kind of, so they got the numbers is really just basically Mexicans or Hispanics. These people are going to expand. White folks will decline, but we gonna stay right there. No up, no down, just neutral, like flat line, basically, right? We're not gonna move an inch up or down. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. That tells me you know something that we don't know. I don't know how you can foretell that we ain't gonna grow. Unless it's something you know that we don't know. But anyway, let me show you this now. Now, with that being said, okay, with that being said, let me show you something that you only get this from here. This is where you got this from. Remember that. You want to see it? I asked if you read my description, I told you something. I said, it was a name I gave you. I said, did y'all hear about this cat here, right? Let me show you something that is not known. This is not known, okay? But I tell you here, you're going to go somewhere else and tell somebody else, right? That's where it's supposed to, right? Hold on. So let me show you this. But let me put this up here one more thing, because see, let's see. Hold on. Let me put that up there. Hold on. Again, I do what I do what they don't do. Now, you ready for this? I'm gonna give you some insight that you didn't know. Ain't nobody that said. You ain't seen it nowhere else. Right here. Just like April 1st, 2014, I told you, and Joe Biden, he proved what I said, that I did the video that went 300,000. Remember when Killer was sitting here telling y'all When I was doing a video getting 100,000, well, I had a 300,000 video called the White Extinction, White Extinction. That's really what it was. White Extinction, right? It wasn't talking about killing them. It was telling them the coming catastrophe of their not being able to have birth, babies before. You see nobody around here saying that. And they all, I got 300,000 on that. And remember, look at my channel today. I still don't got 3,000 subscribers. I don't have 3,000 subscribers. So how could I ever get a 300,000 view video? Think about that, right? So anyway, with that being said, ready? Let me show. No, don't go there. Go to this one. Go to this one. No. Take that down. Take that down for me, please. And then this here. Now, you ready? You got this from here. Huh? Did you know that? Did you know that? Huh? Did you know that? Huh? All right. So did you know that? Oh, really? It's called the Illinois Trust Act, enacted in 2017. That's what created the sanctuary state in Illinois. Okay? That's what became the sanctuary state for undocumented immigrants. According to this individual here, he said that there is 628,000 undocumented immigrants in Illinois. He said that it's costing the Illinois taxpayer estimate of $2.9 billion. Okay? So there is somebody who is in the state legislation who is trying to do it, but you ain't heard it nowhere. You heard it right here. So you know it ain't going nowhere other than from y'all ears and mouth to outside. By the time then, you know what I'm saying? So you can see the screen said October 25th, 2023. It's almost been out almost a month. David Myers filed bill to end Illinois sanctuary for undocumented immigrants. So there's a state legislator that's in the state that's trying to do it. There's somebody in the state trying to do it. Christopher Davidsmeyer, I think that's his name, right? Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, how about this? Let's take just in case y'all been sitting on your hands. What about, remember this?
Cash for your home. You know what that is?
Billboard.
What are y'all, Amos and Andy? Are you stepping and he's fetching? I'm talking about the message, what it stands for. It's called gentrification. It's what happens when the property value of a certain area is brought down. Huh? You listening?
Yeah.
They bring the property value down. They can buy the land at a lower price. Then they move all the people out, raise the property value, and sell it at a profit.
Now what we need to do is we need to keep everything in our neighborhood, everything, black. Black owned with black money. Just like the Jews, the Italians, the Mexicans, and the Koreans do.
Ain't nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folks shooting each other and selling that crack rock and shit.
Well, how you think the crack rock gets into the country? We don't own any planes. We don't own no ships. But we are not the people who are flying and floating that shit in here. I know every time you turn on the TV, that's what you see. Black people selling the rock, pushing the rock, pushing the rock. Yeah, I know. But that wasn't a problem as long as it was here. It wasn't a problem until it was in Iowa and it showed up on Wall Street where there are hardly any black people. Now, if you want to talk about guns, why is it that there's a gun shop on almost every corner in this community?
Why?
Tell you why. For the same reason that there's a liquor store on almost every corner in the black community. Why? They want us to kill ourselves. You go out to Beverly Hills, you don't see that shit. But they want us to kill ourselves. Yeah, the best way you can destroy a people, you take away their ability to reproduce themselves.
Yeah.
Who is it that's dying out here on these streets every night? Y'all.
Yeah.
Young brothers like yourselves.
What am I supposed to do? Fool roll up, try to smoke me? I'm gonna shoot the motherfucker if he don't kill me first.
You're doing exactly what they want you to do. You have to think, young brother.
All right. So we back, right? You caught that, man, right? Huh? Okay. All right. So now let me give you a little bit of other history. That matter of fact, I think it was about 10 days ago was an anniversary. I want to show you something, right? You ever heard of this before? Supreme Court says tax-paying American Indians can't vote. Okay? Say that one more again, Mr. Blow Your Mind. Don't mind if I do. On this day, Supreme Court says tax-paying American Indians can't vote. Tax-paying can't vote. Okay. Let me get a little background of this, right? What they talking about here. Now, again, November 3rd, 1884, that's the date that the Supreme Court had made this decision. And as they say, there's a lot of, they say some of the worst decisions the Supreme Court has ever made has always had to deal with something to do with us. Oh, shit. My shit about to cut off, y'all. Hold on. All right. They almost got me, boy. Oh, they almost got me with the cutoff. Okay. So anyway, so American Indians who pay taxes didn't have the right to vote in the elections. American Indians who pay taxes didn't have the right to vote in elections. Okay. Make full citizens a reality. American Indians living in the United States, despite the 14th Amendment, right? There's a case, if you go look up, it's called Elk versus Wilkinson, which was in 1884. It dealt with birthright citizenship claim. American Indian who gave up his tribal affiliation. In this case, they were talking about he moved to Omaha, he paid taxes, and he tried to vote. Now, this case is predicated on something because there's something I want to show y'all. Because you might have ever heard of Indian not taxed. Who are they talking about, though? Now, accordingly, there was a justice named Horace Gray, and he claimed that the individual whose name was Elk, he had no claims to citizenship. Okay? He had never been naturalized as an American citizen, a treaty, or a statute. Okay? He didn't have a treaty, he didn't have no statute, and had not been naturalized. He was born within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States. The 14th Amendment didn't apply to him. Elk was born as a subject, when they say, of an Indian nation that was an alien power. Okay? Arguments over Indian nations went back to the era of Chief Justice John Marshall. They be talking about John Marshall law, stuff like that. Y'all, some of y'all might know about that, right? But you know that John Marshall had this ruling they called the Trilogy, where he established how the United States legal system would deal with political and what they say social rights for American Indians who live in territory boundaries of the United States. There's a case that you can look up. It's called Cherokee Nation versus the Georgians in 1831, where they talk about the Cherokees didn't have legal standings to prevent the state of Georgia from seizing their lands. Because Indians in the state, they call it pupillage. You know, back in the day, they used to call you a pupil, a student, right? A student, you're a pupil, a student, right? In your relationship to the United States, minority. Right? You know, people, we're minorities. What does that really mean? Minority is a child. Some people believe it means smaller portion to the dominant, but it also means child, right? So they say the relationship is kind of like a ward to his guardian. Okay? You only want to peep this now. Now, the American Indian was also part of the Dred Scott decision in 1857. You know, the American Indian was also a part of the Dred Scott decision in 1857. They argued that American Indians, unlike, then they say, enslaved blacks. American Indians, unlike enslaved blacks, because citizens under the congressional legal supervision. Somehow, blacker people became under the congressional legal supervision, and the so-called American Indian was not. Now, so the citizenship of the Indian tribes and nations came up a decade later. They considered the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment, when you talk about in January 1866, they had started debating about the Civil Rights Act. And there were concerns that the bill broad language would center citizenship on all American Indians. In the final bill, citizenship to American Indians who are domesticated and pay taxes and live in civilized society, therefore they were incorporated into the United States. The history of the Act of 1866, one purpose of the legislation was it was centered on it conferred national citizenship upon a part of the Indian race in this country. It resided in one state or the territory, was subject to taxation and other public burdens. What do you mean by other public burdens? What are you talking about, huh? Right? So they say the 14th Amendment intention was equally clear in this area. When talking about the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Still in this country, a despised and rejected class of persons with no nationality whatever. Let me say that one more again. In this country, a despised and rejected class of persons with no nationality whatever, born in our territory, owing no allegiance to any foreign power, and subject as residents of the states, all the burdens of the government, not members of a political community, nor entitled to any rights, privileges, or immunities as citizens of the United States. Sound familiar? They talk about the Dawes Act of 1887. They say it gave American citizenship to all Native Americans who accepted individual land grants under the provision of statutes and treaties. The issue of the American Indian birthright citizenship didn't get settled until 1924. Conferred citizenship of all American Indians under the Indian Citizenship Act. The act said that all non-citizen Indians born within the territorial limits of the United States are hereby declared to be citizens of the United States. They claim 125,000 of an estimated population of 300,000 American Indians were citizens. Now, is American Indian and Native American the same thing? Are they the same? Are they the same? Indians born under a member of an Indian tribe within the United States still exist and is recognized as a tribe by the government. Voluntarily separate himself from his tribe, resides among the white citizens of the state, has not been naturalized, taxed, recognized as a citizen either by the United States or by the state, is not a citizen of the United States within the meaning. The 14th article of the Amendment of the Constitution. Okay. Pay attention. Plaintiff is an Indian. Was born within severed his tribal relationship to the Indian tribes, surrendered himself to the jurisdiction of the United States, continued to subject to the jurisdiction of the United States as a bona fide resident, pick your state, does not show that he is a citizen of the United States under the 14th Article Amendment of the Constitution. All right, because you know there's a lot of people who will argue with you about this, right? Y'all Africans. You an African. I never seen so many people from other places try to tell somebody who they is, and yet they try to deny who they are. You get what I'm saying? That always tripped me out about that. Like, wait a minute, man. You know, let me also give you something too. Do you know that the reason why a lot of people, when we be saying, like you hear some of our brothers and sisters in the corner and they be telling about doing your genealogy, tracing in your paperwork. You know why I think a lot of people have a hard time? Because a lot of people take the general understanding of how those slave narratives and them stories give, how they were selling our people supposedly on these auction blocks, and they were separating the mother from the children and the man from the family. So they believe that there's no way we know who we are because they've already separated us. They call it quartering, right? They put somebody one hand on one horse, another hand on another horse, and leg, and just pull you apart in 4 sections, right? The quartering. That's how they look at us. So when we be talking about our genealogy, find who our people are, getting our paperwork, they can't believe that because in their mind, they believe that we don't know our people. So the story has to be true. You know, there's a lot of people who, you know, anyway, I won't get into that yet. I won't get into that. But anyway, so I'm trying to show something here, right? Because you got to understand that when they start talking about this thing about Indian and the Native American, okay, now that they're telling you that this Native American person, that he has an origin someplace else, why is it that it's hard for people to believe that, okay, most people tell you that, okay, the origin of all mankind or humankind is black people. But why do you only relegate Africa the only place, right? That the only exists in that the creation, the creator. Do you not have, take any landmass, they have certain, let's say, creatures, animals, vegetation that is only specific, that only grew from there. Is that true or is that not true? Right? So most people say they don't believe in the Bible story, right? Some people, they don't believe in that, right? But most people, they have to believe that because they believe that the origin of a man and a woman had to be the beginning of where everything began. That one story can't be the other place. If you put a limitation to your creator, then he can't really create, can he? Do you have, again, certain places have certain things that are, it's aboriginal to its environment and place, geographical location. Certain animals, certain, right, insects. So why would be any different when it came to being man? Why everybody looking at Africa going the only place? And why do you all say Africa? Because most of y'all, because the white man told you he got Lucy in the ground. And there's a lot of black people over there, so it must be, right? And that the only way that black people could have came on this side of the damn world and when the white man brought them. That's a lot of y'all believe that. You fight hard in that. Like, damn, man. Ask yourself, how the niggas get to Hawaii? How they get up there? Where's the slave story to Hawaii? The Cayman, huh? How they get there from Australia? I'll wait. Because, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, so sometimes, man, like, again, going in the beginning of the show, well, again, sentient agents who with the program still plugged in. You want to say you woke, you want to say that you up, but sometimes y'all still stuck on stuff and you have not expanded yourself because you say everything that come on him got to be true. Gotta be true. Don't question none of that shit. Just it is what it is, right? So it's like, come on, man. Open up your debt. Wait a minute. So y'all would all fight us. So I have to ask myself, you fight us for being here for what purpose? Just like Carlos Ramirez Rosa was fighting to make them not get the voting so they wouldn't hurt his people. Is that what it is? That nobody want Black Americans to be the original people of this place that we call the United States? Because then if everybody know that the truth is that this is our homeland and that y'all know y'all ass supposed to be some damn where else and y'all in there taking advantage of it, that y'all need to take y'all ass back home. I would say that again, but I don't need to say it again. Man. Now again, this is not anti-divisive or hating nobody. I'm just, it is what it is, right? So here we is being in the position that we could be displaced in our own damn land, and ain't nobody there's no asylum seeking for us. There ain't nobody bringing us in to give us nothing, build nothing, to do nothing. So, right? So it's like a lot of people in cahoots to watch us with the 4 flats on our Cadillac. Our shit can't run. We down and out. Busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted. Huh? You kind of wonder in the back of the minds of how some people in the back rooms, because there's a lot of people who are willing to, say that, when it comes to our people that, they give us all the bad shit. When it comes to good shit, you know how to separate. So it's kind of just funny, right? So this Indian business could be the biggest secret that's in this country. Could it not be? Because it's funny how you say we're the beginning, and then yet you could say this other cat, he could be indigenous, he could be the original one here, but you, the Black man, can't be. You had to come on the slave boat because he said that. You had to. Come on, wait. Think about that, y'all. You had to? You landlock us? We supposed to be everywhere in. You remember that white man went over there? What was the name of that damn island when he went over there and them Aboriginals tore his ass up? Try to go there. He over there. Whoever seen that grizzly, what was it called? Grizzly bear? What's the name of that white boy? Hey, bear. He used to go around them damn bears. They gonna bring his damn woman. They tore his ass up. That's what he did. We took his ass over there by the Aboriginals, right? He tried to come over there. It was like, okay. Now come on over here. And they told him, don't take your ass over there. He took his ass over there. And then everybody, they wanted to use that when they killed him to go over there and kind of do Gaza business, right? That's what they wanted to do, right? Everybody said, y'all should have been fucking with it. You should have been go over there. Right? Like, yeah, leave them the hell alone. Right? But no. See? So my thing is, why so many people have a hard time and so hateful when some of your brothers and sisters tell you, man, they indigenous to this landmass? Why you have to be African? It don't take nothing away from nobody, does it? It look like we gain more, but you landlocking it somewhere, and then I'm telling you, take it down, write it down, take a picture, record it. That day when they gonna come in that damn Africa and they gonna tell you who Lucy is, it ain't gonna be you. See, they done already sold you Lucy, personal land. Y'all running Lucy. Hey, Lucy ain't gonna be you. Lucy gonna be somebody else. Displace you off your shit. Yeah, anyway, don't pay no attention to me. I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking shit, right? Right. So anyway, I want to get this before I get up out of here, because that shit is already 3 hours, right? Now, again, somebody always taking some shit, right? Always taking some shit. So I see this, right? The hip hop business, right? Now I'm gonna go here and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Killer, you're gonna have to. You're gonna find a way to get in contact. That channel you got, I'm gonna hit that link. I'll be able to get to you. All right, so I seen this, right? So again, the hip hop thing and so forth. Again, participation, part of don't make you create. And seem like that's the hardest thing that some people just cannot do. Like that's so hard to do, right? Let's say this, right? There's a brother named Dewan B. And Dewan B made this image here showing the origins of all the music that black people in Americas. These would be the catalogs of genres that was created from. You see that? You see that image there? You see all those different genres of music that connect to each other, to the root, to the baby that's being birthed, as the woman is the tree. Right? Now, if that's your catalog, now for you to come, okay, that would just be like, okay, let's say Prince, Michael Jackson, James Brown. Now, somebody want to come and say that they were better than them, got more cuts than them. Wouldn't you have to pull out your catalog and show your number ones and all, right? Now, can somebody come by and have, we call a one-hit wonder, right? People got a one-hit wonder. Oh, you know, like what was his name? Jermaine Stewart. We don't have to take our clothes off. Right? Who else is one-hit wonder, right? I think it was a couple others, but right? So you got a one-hit wonder, right? And they will tell you they made it. But then you got to look at that language. Lets you know that people know they be stealing from us, but they don't want to admit it. It's like you got so much shit, like people mad at you because who we are. So everybody keep want to take shit from us, and they try to do it in such a slick ass way. And it's like, you don't even understand the process of what makes greatness. You see that tree? That's a process of greatness of a people who, when it comes to that, that's hard to beat. You can say Africa all you want. You say all of them. You see the genres of music. And yet a mother will try to tell us, will do everything in their power to take something because you might have been in the vicinity, singing it, you dance with it. But the process said this is how you make creation. And even in the stuff that some you come from, it came out of this. It's like the hardest thing for a lot of people to do is to give credit to Black Americans for the greatness that they have. It's like everybody want to see you with the 4 flats on your Cadillac. They want to see you busted and disgusted. And it's sad. So let me show you these words as I get up out here. Let me show you something right quick. And let me see, did his own words from his own people, did they hurt him? Well, they in here, my whole screen blinking. What the hell going on in here? They really doing some, they working, they work, I'm working good over here. All right, so look at this. Now, accordingly, from that book, hold on. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad, okay? As you see on your screen there, let me see if I get the other one, get that one, because that's it, okay. He say you started as a rapper about 9 years ago, but your involvement with hip hop, like being part of it and listening to it, when did that start? Okay, so I guess this is supposed to be, I don't know, maybe this is Fat Joe, maybe it is probably Fat Joe, and come out of that book that I had showed you, right? Now let's look at these words that's being said here, right? Now, you know, when you look older, you know when motherfucker lying. When you're young, you know, when you're young and you're out here, you just shooting the shit and running, you know, somebody could sound like they selling the truth and so forth. When you get older, you done heard enough. And then there's something that just, when people say it, you just, wait a minute, you ain't understand the word that came out of your damn mouth? But let's see these words that's being put here, and let's just see if you know you already what it is, but steady, y'all gonna keep riding. Y'all still gonna keep doing it anyway. So look at this. So he started rap when he was 9. Okay, if you go look at it, I think he born in 73, maybe. So I mean, or was it 73? I think it was something like that, right? So anyway, so at that time, I'm not sure. I went and looked it up to see the book. The book was produced in 90. I think it was like 90 something. I think it was 2009, something like that. But anyway, so look, he said, since a baby, since I was 9. Now wait a minute, 9 or 10 years old. A baby ain't 9 and 10. Mama's baby, Papa's baby, but you ain't no baby. You're a little boy, right? So right there, I'm already stretching, trying to put it back to go way, way back, right? But you're 9, 10 years old. Okay. I would stay up all night writing raps, and my mother and father would tell me I'm trying to be a Negro. Now, wait a minute. See? Already. If you Puerto Rican, your mama Puerto Rican, your daddy Cuban, and the music that you associate yourself with, to your mom and daddy already told you, Negro. Right? Negro. What else is Negro? And that's another thing too. Why do everybody try to claim black? Right? Why everybody don't say they African? Let me say that one more again. Why do everybody say, we black too? When y'all know, nobody never say we African. Why is African the only one put on black Americans? Haitians don't say they Africans. They don't have African Haitians. Jamaicans don't say African Jamaicans. Nobody said, but African Americans. We the only one y'all throw that. Nowhere else get African put on them but us. Ain't that something? We have been in this land. Black has been a part of the identifying on documents with us. We can't say that with everybody else. So, ask yourself that. Everybody got their own demarcation name, but nobody's named African. But only black Americans become African Americans. Why are you so hard trying to make us Africans? Anyway, food for thought. So now I say Negro. What else? Okay, another name they had us labeled document. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama came and changed Negro to that, right? Didn't he come in, change that? Yeah, that was him, right? That was him. So again, who the mama and daddy telling he trying to be like in the music you playing and what you doing? Who's this at? Negro. Then say trying to be Moreno. What's Moreno? Another way to say Negro? And another way to say Negro is to be said black. Okay, what we arguing with then? What is it that what people saying? Oh, part of and participation don't make creation, does it not? But that's what people want to argue with. That I better pay attention in school, that's just a dream. It'll never happen. My parents are very old-fashioned. Now, those of you who've been around, what does old-fashioned mean? Huh? What does old-fashioned mean? Archie Bunker type? That Archie Bunker type? Old-fashioned. What does old-fashioned mean? And that, you know, they black, they was proud of who they was, and they identified and they knew that's that nigga shit over there. Huh? All that shit that they say, whatever, every language got its way of saying negative towards black people. Every language got it, right? Okay, so they had that. So yet, he said, my father Cuban and my mother Puerto Rican, my father really old-fashioned. Father was really real old-fashioned, right? Okay, we know what does that mean? Okay, shit, I gotta hurry it up because it's gonna knock me out. My power gonna go out. I hope it don't go out. It's trying to go out, y'all. Hold on. I want to finish this up. I got a comment. Hold on, let me get this comment in real quick. Gregory Bongier, what's good, Mr. Blows Your Mind? Just caught you live first time. Thanks for your in-depth analysis and information. Peace and power, blessing. Glad to see you, Gregory Van Leer Jr. Brother, that old good brother there that be coming and doing them comments. I be seeing you, bro. Appreciate you coming by, stopping by. Always encouraging words that you give. Most love to you as well. I gotta hurry because this mug about to unplug. It's my cord is just it's not trying to do it. I'm fighting something in here. So anyway, here it is, Fat Joe, knowing that his mama and them daddy done already recognize that what you doing is black music, right? Black music, and yet people sitting out here trying to tell us and trying to, let's say, infringe upon, as I showed you, right? Again, let's go back. What Dewan B has put together with the history, knowledge that he does, and we're giving our shout out to him, that good brother there that went and did this work here. So I'm just showing the image of what he's doing for those who may not never seen it. But his brother Dewan B, he's put together, and this is the image that he got. Let me show y'all. Let me take Van Leer down. Hold on. Saying you're doing what we did back home, right? Why wouldn't the parents, if this is a part of the culture of a people who claim they were of the creations of it, why wouldn't your mom and daddy not say, oh, that's what we did back home? No, they said Negro. That's Negro. That's Moreno music. What are you trying to do? You need to go to school and come and work. Don't worry about that. That ain't gonna work for you because that's for black people. Really, basically what she's saying, right? So now he says, so he didn't understand me until this music, right? But now he supports it. Oh, of course now. Huh? What was that? What was that verse what Biggie said? He said, birthdays was the worst day. That was champagne when we thirsty. Let me say that one more gear, right? Yeah, that's right. Mr. Blows Your Mind, right? He said, birthdays was the worst day. Now we're singing. Now we're drinking champagne when we thirsty. Yeah, I guess he do. I guess he would now be supporting it. Shit, He turning bottles up everywhere he go now. That's my son, Fat Joe. But in the beginning, he just told the truth. But now that it's so lucrative, and they want to put in the Olympics and all that, now everybody want to claim it. Everybody, it's like, again, we like the pig. You don't throw nothing away at the pig. So that means they don't give us nothing, y'all. Tail, feet, chitlins, head, snoot, hoofs. Nothing for us. We can't have nothing. Everybody come to steal, rob, pillage, whatever they can get their hands on, right? So the one I'm be showing you, that's the catalog. So why not give us our credit? Why not? Because then that's like, really, I've heard some conversations where people are saying that they took it back to Africa, or they playing the drums as wait a minute, man. I don't get it. So then it must be either low key or just it is what it is. People just don't like us. Y'all hate us for the wrong damn reason because of jealousy, whatever the hell it is. But again, we've been the most given. A lot of people to walk over us again. Our floor mat don't even got welcome on it no more. Just got an L and an E, and they faded. To the fact that we said, like Yahya Kabir said, we starting to take care of our own now, even though it's looking a little bleak. But we started to realize that having a friend and not knowing why your friend around you, right? Sometimes some of us go through that, right? When you was coming up, growing up, you have people that hung around you. Let's say you an athlete, or say as a woman, you look better than all your friends. So that means as the woman, she get a lot of dudes that be around her. So that means that her hanging around you, she can pick up the scavengers that the friend bring. So that give her opportunity. And when you the dude and you popular, same thing. You get invited to be places. You bring your partner, right? But all along, their ass never liked you. Man, they get a chance to talk shit about you. They talking shit behind your back. And you thought they was your damn friend. That's how we kind of look sometimes. We don't say it. I know I'm saying it because I know y'all ain't gonna say, but I'm gonna say, that's how we be looking at that. They be acting like that. And then they be trying to tell us, oh, we ain't shit. But boy, don't let no shit fall out. They gonna take everything they can get. So here it is. It's obvious. You put it in the book and you saying it, and yet what you saying. So let me show you this here. So here's the second part to that, right? Here's the second part to it, right? Let's go to this part here, right? So it says, would you say there's any relationship between Puerto Ricans culture, Latin culture, and hip hop culture? Who missing in this? Right? Who's missing in that? Would you say there's any relationship between Puerto Rican culture, Latin culture? Now, Puerto Rican, right? Should it be Puerto Rico? The place is Puerto Rico, right? So is Rican another way they took the AF off African and they Puerto African, but they didn't want to say African, so they took the F off. So they don't have, say the AF, so they can say African. Is that what that is? Rican is from African? Because they sure put the AF on our shit, right? We African American, right? So they said Puerto Rican, right? They took the F off their shit. Anyway, right? So Latino culture is all that stuff that's under them Spanish, right? So Puerto Rican, okay, so you are a combination. People could be Tainos and right, Africans and something else, right? Right? Some of you other things, right? So you're trying to, it's called Latin Dad. Go look that word, Latinidad, Latin Dad, which is what they're trying to now fuse in. They're trying to fuse in to make the semblance. Now, you know damn well, it's like calling a Puerto Rican a Mexican. That's almost like saying black and white. They, people try to say like they don't have that racial animus in their culture, when we know damn well it's all over, right? We get around us and everything cool because it's everything, everybody getting in on cool against us. And I'm not trying to be divisive, but there's some part of the conversation that just got to be said sometime, because I'm seeing too many videos and stuff, and it's like some people not able to really articulate that, because one, they may be too young, and then the person they had a conversation with is using them being a little older than them and saying some little stuff that ain't really slick. It's just the fact that he's older and they letting them get away with it. And sometimes there's people who are older who say that they're not articulate enough to be able to expand on it, because either they done forgot about it, or they don't know how to articulate that well, or don't have no knowledge of it. So there's always some missing pieces to it. And so a lot of them get away with it, and they be trying to say, like, they use New York. Yeah, check this one out. A lot of times people use New York like New York is like not in the United States. You ever notice that? The people who from New York that come from, let's say, via through parents from other places and they be born here, they use that. They'll say, like, say, for instance, you say he's a New York Puerto Rican, right? Like the New York Puerto Rican is different than Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican, it's like saying if you African, like they do us. The ancestors that you'll find going back 10, 12, 15 generations, the African you find there make me African today, right? That's what they doing to us, right? Go back 10, 12, 13, 15 generations, and according to the story of the slave ship, they're going to make you the African from that. Not where you've been for the last 12, 13, 15 generations. They're going to go back to that one and make you African today. So that they can make you not be, you ain't from here. Again, we was here. Matter of fact, as I was talking about the Indian thing, we was here before there was any damn immigration. That's why we can't be immigrants. We was here from the foundation, from the beginning, which makes us indigenous from the United States. We're the indigenous blacks of United States. Automatically. We ain't no immigrants. We're not immigrants. And so we get X'd out on everything because of the whole game. They said you made this an immigrant country. So y'all X us out in that too. And that's not really what it is. But that's a different show for a different time. So let's just look at this as I get on, because I done hit 3 hours, right? So definitely Puerto Ricans have been part of hip hop. Now again, the word is part. Part. Let me ask you a question. Let's see, what can I use? Let's say, I don't know. Let's say I got a sandwich. I got a sandwich. Me and you, we cool. And I give you a part of the sandwich. Whose sandwich was it? Was it my sandwich, or was it you get to claim my sandwich because I gave you part of my sandwich? This how crazy this is to me. Part is another word to say, is a short word to say what? Participation. Participation. Put the participation on that. Participation, right? Participation don't make creation. Right? Don't make creation, right? But then they say the culture, he said, been part of the culture since day one. How? In order to be part of the culture from day one, you have to be part of that. The evolution from that makes you part from day one. Huh? When you part of this, that's day one. A lot of people don't even understand the ritual of Black Americans of how we introduce, when they try to sell us that the music was for young people. We don't know what y'all talking about. Because all of us learned our parents' music before we got our own music. So what y'all talking about? And even when we got our music, the people who playing the music when you at an age are older than you, come on, man. So y'all don't even understand the evolution of how that works. So that's how we know y'all don't know what y'all talking about. You don't know how greatness works, how the development of shit works. So it just looked good because we was there. We was dancing. One of us was on the mic. That don't make it a creation of it, man. Right? And then so you try to make a location to be the origin of it. South Bronx. Wait, you see on your screen? South, yeah. Bronx, I don't know. South, yes. Bronx, I don't know. You see that on your screen? That's South. That's South. And then it goes on and shows, let me put it back on your screen so you can see what he's saying, right? So it goes on, he says that, what do you say? He say, no, go the other one. Okay, the other one. He says, now again, it says most of the South Bronx is Latino. Now, why does he say most of the Bronx is Latino? What he's trying to say is because it's more Latinos in South Bronx, that gives them that they the maker because it's more of them. Huh? Because there's more of them in South Bronx as Latino, that makes they made it. How did let's get to the crux of that. How did the Latinos and blacks get together in the South Bronx? Wasn't somebody getting their ass burnt out? And when you got your ass burnt out, well, you had to migrate and move in. Do that have anything to do with the history? That, again, those of us who've been around, that some, depending on where you lived at, when people came from other nations, they came in, they let them come in as a starters. They end up leaving, and they end up creating a whole area for that, let's say, ethnicity of people. They end up getting their own little area that's all them in it. That's what ended up happening. So to say that Latinos and blacks living in the vicinity, cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But tell me, how do somebody, okay, if you from another place, shouldn't your culture be from the land from which your people come from? Shouldn't you be able to show me in your background the kind of music that would formulate to the stuff that you claiming you create? That's why it sounds crazy. And then when somebody say graffiti, let me tell you something about graffiti. Let your ass came home, and then the police knock on the door talking about your son or your daughter, we gotta take him to the police station because he painting on this damn building. Huh? I'm talking about day when we had parents, right? You ain't what? Matter of fact, I think they should have them go down there and scrub them damn buildings and shit, right? Then you had to pay that fine, and, right? So you didn't want that. We grew up not bringing shit. I don't know how that even. Now, again, I know there's a history that said that. I think a brother like Cornbread and so forth being in Philadelphia. I get that. That okay, I did that. Tagging and all. Okay, that's not a culture to me. You going defaming property. Bad enough. We already living in red line districts. You know what I'm saying? They say our shit dirty and don't pick up because they reallocating their taxes to where they don't want to own the buildings that we lived in, no apartments. Slum ass landlord, he ain't fixing shit, he just getting rent because in real estate, you living in the blighted area, his ass don't get no more because the value don't go up. So why would he fix shit? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So I know, man. Right. Let me get done with this, man. Let me go ahead because I hope everybody tripping. Right? Anyway, but so my thing is, okay, so you try to use South Bronx is Latino. So you try to use South Bronx as Latino because you're trying to say the majority of the people that's there that gives by generalization of understanding that it's more of us, so that means we made it. Bullshit. Anyway, they were definitely part of hip hop since day one. They were. Now, what do you mean? Who is they? So again, trying to be inclusive. If you ask a black person that, they're gonna say we. Ain't gonna be no they. Huh? See, they mean somebody else. We is us. Huh? See, language. Huh? English language. We, they. They, we, us, not they. Difference, right? So he goes on and says, they were definitely part of hip hop since day one. Okay, part, short for participation. Part, okay? Okay, no problem. Give us our shit. Take our shit, man. Damn, let us have. We can't have our own shit, man. We understand. I understand. When you see this, you're like, man, y'all can give us at least one, man. You could give us at least one of them, right? Okay. Let me finish it up because people, I see people leaving. Too long on this shit. But anyway, let me finish this up. So he said they were the break dancers, the DJs, part of the crews. No problem. Break dancing, DJ, party crew. Ain't no problem with that. I don't know where it turned into just black music. You know why it's black music, y'all? Because what you see on your screen. In this land, in this country, who music is, our music is in everything. Our music, you know, when they start putting our music in the movies, it enhanced the movie. So that's why they start going into commercials and all. Huh? You understand? Even just doing the little commercial about, let's say, who was that, Solid Gold? You got to get, that's mine, brother. You got to get your own, right? Just a few little cuts on that they were playing. You jam just on that. So black music in this country, of course, what other music? What other music was it? So he says, how many Latinos love hip hop? Loving hip hop ain't got a problem. It can be universal. Doesn't take away from loving it and be a part of it, but it belongs to the family of what you see on your screen. It cannot be separated from it. All those, what you try to say, the 5 elements of hip hop, you need everything that's on that tree to get that, unless it came from somewhere else. But if it's born here, it was born out of the tree. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Just stop it, y'all. Just stop it, y'all. Right? So, Latinos love hip hop, but weren't in the forefront, but got lost somewhere. I don't know how that happened. With me trying to become a rapper 9 years ago, I had to fill in the void. I want to fill in the void. I just like all the Morenos see their favorite rappers, people that can relate to. I want to do the videos with all Latinos. This okay? Yes, you participated. You in the genre. You are considered a rapper. You making money. You becoming star. Nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to the creation and what it is, I don't ever want to give us our stuff, man. They'll go all the way back to when we talk about in Chicago. Surviving for the territory. Using the process of immigration that's flooding black people out and using that to get us out and take over the places that we are. And it's not happening just there. It's happening all over this damn place. So there's a disdain, man. There's a hatred. And it don't make sense, man. We're giving y'all so much. We helped y'all so much. And all we get in return is you want to see us dead. You want to see us out and without shit. So we have to say, when we look at y'all home places that y'all come from, we understand why now. We understand. Because if some of the best are leaving those countries and coming amongst us, and this is the attitude and the way you are, we understand now. We understand. So again, I am the most hated show on the black corner of the internet. Again, I'm your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this has been another WeUpReport. I want to thank everybody who stopped by tonight. Gregory Van Leer Jr., Abu Kabir Bey, Kenji Kota, Wee Boogie, Aboriginal Knowledge, Kenji, you need to hit me on the, let's see, I'm trying to think, well, if that's your channel, I'll be able to get to you if that's your channel. Because see, all that Facebook stuff, I don't go in because you know why? Because they never let me get nothing. Every time I put something, I ain't get no views on none of that. Twitter, Facebook, they don't let me get nothing over there. So I don't even go on there. So if I have to email you or something like that, or eventually we talk, that's how the way you can do it. So I'll just hit me with a message and I'll send you the email. You can send me and we'll talk from there, conversate. Because I ain't talked to you for a minute. I'm glad you stopped by. That's one of the young brothers I used to mentor. Since he was about 15? No, shit, probably even longer than that. Right about 15, shit. That's been some minutes. That's been the rich shit. Then I almost got 15 years later. So, but anyway, glad to have seen you, brother. Hit me up when we catch up and talk about some things. And everybody else, again, this is the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, Mr. Blow Your Minds. Until my next show, y'all. Until my next show.
Remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy. Remember, the enemy has only